Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is July 16th, 2026. We got some sixes today. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus riding shotgun with us. Let me get through the intro here and we'll bring him on and get to all the news for you today. We're bombing the hell out of Iran. I changed the title of the show back to Iran War Day 138. I can't just put the headline every day. We're bombing Iran now. We're bombing them every day for like 6 consecutive days here. It's getting quite absurd. We're targeting civilian infrastructure, blowing up rail lines, blowing up bridges. It's reports coming out of Iran. We're killing civilians. It's not good. And Iran is bombing the hell out of all of our bases there in the region as well. We got a bunch of that news for you. It's quite horrific, all of it. Little Marco Rubio, the State Department, the Trump administration has launched a new campaign today, crushing far left-wing terrorism. That's a threat that we had to certainly go after. We'll cover those details. We got, what do we got? A little bit of public health news. The big fires up in the Northeast. Take a look at that. We got AI news, a bunch of AI news. China and Russia reportedly are building their own parallel AI world. We'll take a look at that. As we have everything to beat China. We're in the Have they said China? I think they said China ships in fentanyl, maybe. Anyway, we're in all these different wars, AI war, Cold War, space race with China, everything against China. Apparently, Trump's going to do a speech any minute here now. He's going to blame China, reportedly, for rigging our elections. Turns out all this BS has turned the world against the United States, and now the world views China more favorably. I think we have that report we'll get to. So a bunch of this AI news, a bunch of economic news, a bunch of Epstein news, Massey and Rokana and a few others are now launching Epstein Files Transparency Act 2 because one wasn't enough. I don't know what another law that the criminal government is not going to follow is going to do. We'll take a look at that. Other Epstein reporting today. Again, a lot of economic news. Trump is the most corrupt man in the history of the world. I don't know. He's fighting with Millet. We'll take a look at that. Little Russia-Ukraine news. What do they say out of who posted this? Out of Australia, they say, we train Ukrainians to be better at killing Russians. I mean, dude, seriously? We'll cover that. We'll take a look at this, the weird homoerotica coming out of the Department of War. What do you do with a drunken Hegseth? Looks like we're targeting Brazil here now, as they're one of the only countries that are in South America not signed on to Aardvark land genocide. So we got to target them, obviously. The big antiseptics, calmies, we're told. Call me antiseptics. So, of course, they're evil there. And, yeah, the controlled demolition genocide in Lebanon and Gaza continues. We have those. We have updates on that for you. All quite horrific. Let's get to this day in history and then get to all this news for you. I see a few people coming online now. Welcome to the broadcast. Shout out to Mac. Shout out to Ruckus. Wait a minute. Ruckus is on the show. He's also in the chat over there on YouTube. Shout out to Karen on the Rumble. All right. We didn't have that much, honestly, in this day in history, so we can blast through it pretty quick here. On this day of July 16th, we go back to the year 622. Islamic era begins. Muhammad and his followers begin migration to Mecca and Medina. They do love that that black cube Saturn Satan worship. On this day, 1099, Crusaders hurled aardvarks of Jerusalem into a synagogue and set it on fire. On this day, 1439, kissing is banned in England to stop the spread of the Black Death. On this day in 1661, we saw the first bank notes in Europe are issued by the Bank of Stockholm. Here's an image of it. The first bank notes right there from the Bank of Stockholm. On this day, 1661. On this day, 1798, U.S. Public Health Services Form and U.S. Marine Hospital is authorized. And they just keep pumping those public health scares. I think we do have hey, don't be eating that lettuce out there. Lettuce may get you. On this day, 1945, Trinity nuclear test. 1945, first test detonation of an atomic bomb allegedly occurs at Trinity site, New Mexico, as part of the U.S. Manhattan Project. 1951, on this day, J.D. Salinger's novel, The Catcher in the Rye, is published by Little Brown and Company. Is The Catcher in the Rye some type of intelligence mind control trigger? I don't know. It's been alleged. It's been alleged out there. 1969 on this day, allegedly, Apollo 11 launches, carrying the first men to land on the moon. Sure. On this day in 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and his sister-in-law, Lauren Bessette, are killed in a plane crash off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. Sorry to report to you, Q idiots. JFK Jr. is dead. On this day in 2004, Martha Stewart is sentenced to 5 months in prison plus 5 months in home confinement for lying to federal investigators. And just a year ago today, time flies when you're genociding your region. On this day in 2025, the Aardvark Land Air Force bombs the Syrian Defense Ministry headquarters and areas near the presidential palace in Damascus. Now they're trying to float the idea that they're going to get the new president of Syria, al-Shara. They're going to get him to somehow go fight Hezbollah in Lebanon. I don't see how that sorts out, but we shall see. They're floating that idea. They've been floating that idea. We're trying to get some proxy to go fight instead of us or Aardvark land for that matter. And nobody really, the Kurds, the Syrians, somebody out there go do our dirty work. Nobody really wants to jump in the ring. It's not looking very popular. On this day in our civil liberties history, we go back to the year 1943. Attorney General Biddle orders FBI to end detention list. J. Edgar Hoover ignores order, renames list. Epstein files Transparency Act 2. Like, why have laws when the government doesn't follow them? It's almost like they're anarchists, I tell you, with a badge and state power. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover in 1940 had established a semi-secret program that listed people for custodial detention in the event of war or a national emergency. You better believe you, I, and Ruckus are on that same list here now, currently. You better believe it. The list reflected Hoover's anti-liberal, anti-left, anti-civil rights bias. ACLU director Roger Baldwin, for example, was listed for detention. Attorney General Francis Biddle on this day ordered him to end the program. Hoover disobeyed the order by simply changing the name from detention to security list. Right there, if we had a legitimate government, they would go arrest J. Edgar Hoover's criminal ass. This action was a classic example of Hoover's policy of keeping some of the Bureau's major actions secret from his nominal boss, the Attorney General. The FBI secret list was in existence on September 22nd, 1950, when the McCarran Act created a procedure for detaining people who were alleged threats to the United States in the event of a national emergency. Reconciling the two procedures involved some difficulty within the Justice Department among those who were knowledgeable about the secret FBI list. They're pack criminals. They're a pack of criminals, your federal law enforcement. And on this day in our civil liberties history, 1973, secret White House taping system revealed tapes led to Nixon's resignation. White House staff person Alexander Butterfield on this day revealed to a congressional investigating committee the existence of White House tape recording system in the Nixon administration. In the midst of the expanding Watergate scandal, the existence of the tape recording system immediately aroused interest because of what the recordings might reveal about President Nixon's involvement in the Watergate burglary and a possible cover-up of the crime. You don't say. Here's our, well, thankfully, bobblehead, lying piece of garbage, press secretary lady is back there to lie to us some more. In pink, back from maternity leave, wearing a cross, no less. Here she is, lying to the American people proudly.
The reason, and this is important for the American people to understand, the reason for the recent strikes over the course of the last several days is because Iran violated the Memorandum of Understanding that we struck with them. Specifically, in the Memorandum of Understanding that they signed, they were not to fire on commercial vessels moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And unfortunately, they have made the tragic decision for them to do that. And President Trump is not going to sit by and allow these acts of terrorism to take place in the Strait without ensuring Iran pays consequences.
Ruckus, how you doing this Thursday?
Yikes, I only thought I missed that lady, but it's nice to see that she's back, right? Oh my God. I think that's the source of what's going around making everybody have the stomach illness thing. It's the current administration. They're trying to blame lettuce from Taco Bell, but I don't know what everybody's complaining about. It's good to cleanse the colon every once in a while, so quit your bitching, everybody. Just kidding. I'm happy to be here, Sam. We got a lot to go through, so I'll let you take the reins.
I guess Trump is anytime here is going to do maybe he's live right now. Trump's going live to allegedly make an announcement that China stole our election. And they're floating the idea of me declare some type of national emergency.
Over the fact that China stole our elections?
To secure our election, something. I don't know. Anyway, he's there. He's going to give a speech anytime now. We got a lot of news to get to, though. If there's something important that comes across, we'll cut in to this show for more Trump's lies. Okay, continuing here. Yesterday, so we've been straight bombing Iran for like 6 straight days heavily. Now, follow up from yesterday's bombing campaign, U.S. Central Command reports latest wave of U.S. strikes against Iran completed. We hit them in 2 waves yesterday. U.S. Central Command reports that U.S. forces struck Iranian command centers, air defense sites, missile and drone capabilities, and coastal surveillance facilities to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten innocent mariners crewing commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM used precision munitions to hit in multiple locations, including Bandar Abbas. Earlier this morning, American forces struck coastal defense and cruise missile sites on Greater Tunb Island during a 90-minute wave. The U.S. military is holding Iran accountable at the commander-in-chief's direction. I guess we'll play the video. These are the alleged strikes from U.S. Central Command from yesterday, and we're bombing them right now as this show's on. So it's hard to keep up with all these strikes, considering the fact we've destroyed Iran on, I don't know, over 50 occasions, according to Trump. But somehow we're still bombing their command centers, air defenses, missile and drone capabilities. Funny how that works. This is a video from U.S. Central Command. No audio on this clip. Yeah, took down some kind of communication antenna there. There you go. We're whacking the hell out of them. Go America, Ruckus.
Wow, I tell you what, these video game graphics have gotten insane, haven't they? Which one was that? Xbox, PlayStation? Just kidding. Damn.
That was yesterday. Today, U.S. Central Command announced at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. forces began conducting a new wave of strikes against Iran for the 6th consecutive night to further degrade Iranian military capability. How can this be, Ruckus? Trump has told us like 50 times, I don't even know how many, numerous times that this has all been done before. This feels like Groundhog Day. We're in this never-ending loop of we killed all the Iranians, blew up their military, and we're doing it every single day now.
Well, I mean, because it's almost like he can just say whatever he wants while in the background there's another unseen player directing everything, and they are definitely doing what they've always done, at least what I've been tracking for a while now. You all know who that is.
The most recent attacks, reports coming out of Iran, U.S. hit Sur River Bridge, cutting off Bandar Abbas Highway in both directions. Reports say civilian vehicles were on the bridge at the time of impact. Unknown dead Iranians. But we were told we have to attack Iran to protect Iranian civilians because Iran killed, 40,000 protesters during the failed color revolution. Now we have to kill Iranian civilians because Iran government will kill Iranian civilians, Ruckus.
No, if we don't do it, China will. We have to beat China to it, see?
That's perfectly, well, if they use that excuse, I'll accept it.
But it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? They're like, well, if we don't kill the civilians, Iran's going to kill their own civilians, so we'll do the killing of the civilians, and it's good for jobs. Go America.
Pretty much.
Meanwhile, they're arguing about who's going to do the killing of the civilians. Meanwhile, no one's stopping to say, hey, should we be killing civilians? That's not good.
It's straight up war crimes according to the Geneva Convention. You are not allowed to intentionally target civilian infrastructure, i.e. railways, bridges, roads, actual civilians. You're not allowed to do any of that. And so we're committing straight up war crimes here now.
I guess it's better to be doing the war crimes than be the victim of the war crimes.
I suppose so.
It's the only way. I'm like trying to be positive here.
Iran's claiming, we're waiting for a U.S. Central Command fact check on this claim. I haven't seen one today. Iran's claiming that they shot down one of these MQ-9 drones of ours over western Iran, and they posted a video of some wreckage footage. I don't know if it is or not, but they're claiming that. No trace left. Iran vows to wipe out U.S. assets across region if Trump acts on new threats. They're bombing the hell out of our bases there. I guess they shouldn't have built their country around our bases, Ruckus?
I guess. Real quick, because I forgot to mention, I was going to mention this, and I think somebody caught it in the comments already, but what Trump has been saying is that he says, oh, we destroyed their Navy, right, or whatever, and then he says, we destroyed this. So it's like he's selectively saying that things have been destroyed, and then, of course, from the beginning, we know since last year, he wiped out their entire ability to develop a nuclear weapon, which they never wanted to build anyways, or allegedly, but now they should have one, according to Trump. It's just, there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of flip-flopping going on here. But yeah, so I think he was very specific about the things that he said had been completely destroyed. And as we've seen, and coming from Iran itself, as well as a lot of like the CIA podcaster military folks, they have like underground bases loaded with like, drones, mostly from what I understand. And that's what we're seeing the reports of, are a lot of these attacks, proclamations coming from Iran that they did things with their drones. So there you go. So that explains why we would be doing some sort of action. But again, regardless, what happened to the whole memorandum of understanding, and they weren't going to, do things like in Lebanon and Gaza, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, sorry, just wanted to point that out.
Iran says they're going to target all of our bases in the region. They're attacking them right now as we speak. In Bahrain, in Kuwait, in Jordan, in Iraq. It's not good. The missiles are flying right now all over the place. U.S. Vice President tells Aardvarkland officials sabotaging Iran talk to go to hell. In an interview he did yesterday, or was posted yesterday, with Rogan. And so Mr. Technocracy, J.D. Vance, is still trying to play the role of the rational guy in the face of all this war propaganda and lies and undying support for Aardvarkland. He's trying to be the rational voice out there. Ruckus, what do you make of this? Are you buying J.D. Vance as being?
He's got to. You got to have something set up that's going to take the like, if everybody's angry at the one guy with the orange hair and sometimes skin, you need somebody who's antithesis to what he's saying, the things that people are upset about. So Vance has been positioning himself in a nice, convenient way for him, not for us, unfortunately, since he is Mr. Technocracy. Yeah, so I think it's all show, and he's just saying the right things so that people will welcome him with open arms as a fresh relief to what they were just like angry about. And then he'll just rip the mask off like the other guy did, like all the other guys and gals always do, without fail. With exception, like maybe like someone like Thomas Massey, but then look what who are they did to him.
Yeah, I'm not buying Mr. Technocracy. VP Vance is the voice of reason either. He's playing that role because they understand how absurd all of this is. And so they do need that counter dialectic out there. And he's playing
Plus,
his role.
it looks kind of funky if like the head of the organization is acting all cool and calm and actually professional like, but then all the underlings like the Pete Hegseths and the others are acting like the normal, crazy, insane, psychopathic clowns that they are. So I mean, how does that work?
U.S. Central Command says U.S. Marines from the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit conducted a verification boarding. We're literally policing the ships in the Strait of Hormuz here. A verification boarding aboard MT Yin Yao in the Gulf of Oman earlier today. As of today, American forces have redirected 3 commercial vessels trying to run the blockade, disabled one that didn't comply, and boarded one to ensure full compliance with the ongoing U.S. naval blockade against Iran. So what a great use of our military there. We're standing there in the Strait of Hormuz with a gun at these ships' faces, and Iran is at the other end with a gun in these ships' faces, essentially, and not much commerce is transiting the Strait of Hormuz as it stands now.
Meanwhile, I'd be willing to bet there's a small select handful of people or person taking advantage in the middle and playing both sides, right?
They're profiteering handsomely off of this U.S. military action. It's nighttime over there in Iran right now. There's a bunch of nighttime videos of the bombings. Not really that much to see. We got a bunch of them though. Two reported killed Iranians, 4 wounded on a bridge attack by America. It's nighttime video, and they're just showing a blowing up car. Yeah, we're whacking the hell out of them. $10 million bounty offered for killing Donald Trump. Iraqi Islamic Resistance issued this. It's a group. The Iraqi Islamic Resistance Group announces reward following Trump's audacious and offensive statements against martyred commanders who fought ISIS. And so now they're trying to they're trying to do heavy gun control in Iraq now and seize all these different militia groups' arms. And so they're kind of not very happy about it. And of course, Trump is slandering their martyrs as well. And so now they put out this dead or alive reward, $10 million there from the Iraqi Islamic Resistance Group, because Trump has really pissed them off.
I guess they're not paying attention. Allegedly, according to the official story, there's already a bunch of people who are trying to kill him for free. So I'm not so sure offering $10 million is going to change our people who are like, gosh darn it, I wasn't going to attempt to do this, but, since they're throwing in $10 million, I might just risk it. What the hell? I don't know, man. That's kind of silly to me. It just seems like propaganda on Iran's part.
Maybe, but I do believe that they are genuinely pissed off.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But again, or are they? I mean, because how much of war stuff, like including this one, is like wrestling, There's always that.
There is always that. Key bridge in South Iran destroyed, to Sam News reports. We reported that. Bandar Abbas crossing apparently is a key transportation spot there, and we whacked it. There's more videos. Where's this from? We don't even know, but there's videos of clouds of smoke bombing the hell out of Iran. At least 7 people wounded by a latest U.S. strike. There's different reports of, I guess we'll probably know tomorrow, maybe, how many Iranians we killed. In these latest strikes, Trump and Bibi drowned in a sea of Iran's national revenge, giant poster in Tehran here. You will drown in the sea of the Iranian nation's revenge. You can see right there. Big old poster they put up there in Tehran. All right, we have a little bit more in the geopolitical section. On to what are we going to do, Ruckus? I'm kind of scared of these Antifa left-wing terrorists. They're gonna come get us. Thankfully, Trump administration and the State Department launched the new initiative here. Trump administration unleashes global campaign to crush radical left-wing terrorism.
Thank God.
They're keeping us safe.
See, this is what we should have been doing from the beginning. They were trying to scare everybody about Hamas might be over here, or even the Iranian terrorist cells. Not buying it. But climate change, no. But left-wing Antifa terrorists, yep. Now I'm interested. So what do we got? What do I need to work out? What do I need to watch out for? I mean, I'm in Texas, so I'm surrounded by left-wing Antifa terrorists out here. I tell you what. Oh no, not at all, actually. But anyway.
There you go. There's the press release, and we had they're making it's a global, apparently. Little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, exposed the long-standing willful blindness to left-wing violence. He said, our counterterrorism doctrine has had a blind spot when it comes to extremist violence from the political left. Even today, the very idea that far-left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing fever dream. I don't know. Alleged right-wingers are in charge committing war crimes right now, Ruckus. I don't know about this whole left-wing terrorism idea they're pushing out today from the White House.
Well, I've seen these people in action. They are quite dangerous. They're punks. They like to use their skateboards as weapons, which, I own a skateboard and I would never use it as a weapon unless I would have to. I can't imagine why I would have to, because I also carry a gun. Unlike these punks, all they got are their skateboards. I'm running around on my skateboard with my Sig Sauer. So, again, I'm going to be all right. But what I'm concerned about, Sam, is that they're going to use this sort of thing to label people like you and I who speak our opinions against the administration, even though we don't identify as either left or right. They're going to lump us under these far left terrorist type of folks and whatever rules, regulations, or just based off what shows I'm on. Sometimes it doesn't matter what I say. I could be automatically considered one thing or another for as long as I've been Ruckus. I was only doing the Ruckus stuff for maybe 2 weeks, and already I had gotten labeled as a Russian propagandist bot, my Twitter account way back in the day. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything. Like, seriously. So I'm used to this kind of crap already for years.
Crushing far-left terrorism. Crushing far-left terrorism. Far-left anti-government terrorism now accounts for more attacks and plots in the United States than any other ideological category. This is right from the White House. They say far-left actors are responsible for 63% of anti-government attacks or plots, as well as 3/4 anti-government fatalities in the United States last year, 2025. The State Department is taking action by designating violent far-left groups as foreign terrorist organizations, but they're not foreign. They're trying to say Cuba and Iran are behind this. That's a reach, but we'll get to that. Continuing here, and specially designated global terrorists. So that means they can just whack you according to their doctrine, the same way they whack these alleged narco drug traffickers with no evidence. So they can extrajudicially assassinate you, straight up murder, if you're on this list, if they're following the same doctrine they're using on the Ecuadorian fishermen. Continuing here, the U.S. government is coordinating with partners across the world to expand coordination. They're coordinating to expand coordination, enhance information sharing, and strengthen international law enforcement to counter the threat. A little redundant there out of the White House.
Yep. So same old story. They just changed the flavor of now it's like insert the enemies across the land that we want to go antagonize and rape and pillage and plunder. I'm surprised they didn't mention Greenland in there or something.
There's a bunch of bunch of these left-wing terrorists in Greenland. Did you guys hear?
They call themselves penguins or something.
There you go. State Department address, international resurgence of far left political terrorism.
Resurgence. I love it. Yes. This is this is dog whistle food for the MAGA crowd. Anyways, yes. This is their stupid psyops are so obvious when you're paying attention. It's so embarrassing to those who believe it. I feel bad for them.
Oh, they're coming after whoever's on this list. Probably you and I.
I know. Again, hello. I'm like, is this thing on? Yeah, it's on. So I'm on a list. It's all good.
Secretary of Treasury Besant on confronting left-wing terrorism. Let's hear. They're going to target them financially. They have weaponized the dollar. They're not shy about that.
We have spent decades developing the world's most sophisticated financial counterterrorism capabilities. And now we are mobilizing some of the same tools that we have deployed against terrorists abroad to confront this emerging threat here at home. Like every form of illicit finance, these networks rely on the global financial system. It is our mandate to deny terrorist groups access to those channels. Now, we think of nonprofits and charities as good, altruistic organizations, and most of them are. We think they represent the very best of civil society. Many of them do. But the very qualities that make these institutions worthy of the public's trust can also make them appealing to those who endeavor to exploit them. At President Trump's direction, Treasury is expanding its efforts to identify organizations that abuse charitable and nonprofit structures as vehicles for illicit finance. We are examining where tax-exempt status has been exploited, where charitable entities have become financial conduits for foreign influence activity, and how those entrusted with stewardship of these organizations have instead enabled violence. Where the evidence leads, we will not hesitate to follow. And of course, we will hold these organizations, officers, directors accountable. And just as financial institutions must know their clients, they must know their grantees. That work is well underway. In the fall, the United States designated 4 far-left Antifa extremist groups abroad as foreign terrorist organizations, denying them access to the U.S. financial system and depriving them of resources they need to carry out attacks. Meanwhile, in this administration alone, OFAC has also sanctioned 17 sham charities and nonprofit organizations for funding Hamas's terrorist activities and operations.
Are they going? They're going after the Federal Reserve and Aardvark land? Is that what they're? Did I miss something? No.
The IRS. Yeah.
Oh.
No. What a joke to paint the picture like as if like they're using these. Is it simply because certain platforms aren't enforcing the KYC know your customer rules? Some people are using this to raise money to do like in your mind you're supposed to believe like, oh, they get money and then they go they go to the store and they buy missiles and then they go bomb people. Like, what is going on in people's heads when they hear this garbage? It's insane. Stop it and pay attention and listen. Obviously, all he's talking about is they just want to enforce KYC. So there are places where you can still escape the encroaching system that is being built around us, the technocratic control grid, where they can literally at the flick of a switch, because they don't like the way you look, what you say, what you think, your religion, the color of your skin, etc. Fill in your choice of whatever here, okay, and say you don't get to use any money. But to do that, they need to get all these rules put into place, and this is a part of that. This is just a giant part of the KYC thing. It's a giant garbage. Man, what a clown show this is. I'm angry now. Sorry, Sam.
There's more, Ruckus.
Oh, good. Thank you. I was hoping you would say that. There's always more.
There's more. Little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, says that Antifa is being directly aided by Iran and Cuba. Guess who are the big enemies right now? Iran and Cuba. Guess who are bombing right now? Iran. Guess who we want to bomb? Cuba. Let's hear from Secretary of State Little Marco Rubio. The propaganda is transparently clown worldish. It would be laughable, but real people are going to die behind this.
This is the nature of the terrorism we face today. They despise the West because the West is great. This is an international conference because we are facing a transnational threat. These are not distinct and isolated cells. They are interconnected networks. They do not recognize our borders. They do not believe, in fact, in the nation state itself. They coordinate, they communicate, they travel, they train, and they act together, sharing the same infrastructure, sharing the same enemies, sharing the same mission. Antifa militants and their comrades travel from across Europe and to the Americas to participate in each other's attacks, to funnel propaganda and training materials and target information through shared encrypted channels, moving through underground networks of safe houses and finance, and sustain their operations through transnational funds. And they work alongside hostile foreign states that share their mission, like Iranian proxy networks, who are increasingly intimately tied to leftist militant groups around the world. The Cuban regime's sprawling intelligence and ideological network helped to build the far left in our country and in our hemisphere, and it remains inextricably linked to the far left groups and movements across and beyond.
It's time to go ahead and bomb Cuba, Ruckus.
I think it's past time to bomb Cuba, according to my timeline here. Yeah. Yeah, obviously. It's a little, like you said, it's the transparency of the propaganda is clownish, yeah.
Okay. Thankfully, the government's keeping us safe from far left Antifa terrorists, Ruckus. On to public health now. The diarrhea outbreak, not to be funny or juvenile, CNN headline says an outbreak of diarrhea from a parasite is surging. Here's what to eat and what to avoid. They say in this report, cases of diarrhea caused by the parasite Cyclospira continue to climb, and with the threat of weeks-long illness and no certainty about the source, it's easy to wonder, is there anything in the produce aisle that's safe to eat? As of today, one outbreak has grown to more than 4,000 cases and 102 hospitalizations in Michigan, and more than 1,200 cases and 88 hospitalizations in Ohio. It's also linked to cases in West Virginia, Kentucky. Michigan health officials said their investigation suggests that lettuce or salad greens may be the culprit, but other foods can't be ruled out, and no specific type, grower, or supplier has been identified as a source. Nationally, around 7,000 cases have been confirmed or are under investigation in 34 states since May 1st, according to the lying criminals at the CDC. I added that part. So what?
I think it's a little too vague. It seems like they don't have a clue what's causing it.
Avoid food, they say. So
avoid food. Like what food? All food. Just stop eating. Okay. Yeah, this is not good already.
You can get $50 off Ozempic at trumprx.gov. There you go.
Well, okay. Now that you say that, is there some sort of miracle juice, as it were, something that's available that's about to hit the market? Is there something in the wire? Y'all do some research. I'll do some research after the show and see what we can come up with. We'll just have to check and see what Bill Gates has been investing in the last 6 months. We'll figure it out real easy.
Eli Lilly, see, they can't let us have anything. Eli Lilly to buy psychedelics maker Buckley for $2.8 billion as experimental treatments gain traction. Here now. The deal gives Lilly access to experimental drugs based on DMT and MDMA. They have to ruin everything, Ruckus.
Who does this? Eli Lilly?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that guy anyway? He sounds foreign.
Eli Lilly will acquire psychedelic drug maker Buckley for $2.8 billion up front. The company said earlier today, as momentum grows for using versions of drugs as mental health treatments.
Well, I mean, people have been just fine in the old noodles since 2020, haven't they? No, they have not. It's been getting worse. And then now we've got AI everywhere making it worse. How convenient. I should have been invested in Eli Lilly. Who knew? Or that smaller company, or, well, it's a merger. So Eli Lilly, yeah, there you go. I missed that signal. Darn it.
Lilly has a long history in mental health. Its blockbuster antidepressant Prozac transformed the treatment of depression and fueled Lilly's last major sales boom before the GLP-1 explosion.
Yeah, it was unfair they got knocked down a peg with the lizard venom. No, what is it?
Synthetic Gila monster
Thank you.
venom is
Yeah,
what.
let's go back to Prozac. Man, that was popular. There was a day back in the day that was popular. Remember, kids were growing up with their parents on this kind of crap.
It fries your brain out. It has a bunch of fluoride in it. So yeah, eat
Good
your
stuff.
Eat your Prozac for sure for your public health and mental health. Okay, on to the smoke. And I don't usually recommend wearing masks. Public health says don't wear a mask for massive smoke, but wear a mask for a mystery bat flying around your head. Here's some images of these giant fires. The air quality out of the Northeast there, you can see very bad air quality, the worst air quality in the world, allegedly over the city of Detroit.
That's coming from Canada?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Canada? Like, okay, dude, we need to go to war with Canada. Stat. Look what they're doing to us. This is crazy.
Canadian wildfires turn Toronto skies orange.
Crazy.
A tribute to Trump. As smoke threatens as smoke threatens World Cup final. More than we got to kick a ball. You see, who cares about breathing clean air? More than 850 fires are burning across Canada. And I did see, I think it was Snow posting. He is from Canada. He's a Canadian. I saw him posting about there may be some correlation between the Katy Perry Justin Trudeau video called Let It Burn. Something to this effect was the title of it. That launched before all these giant wildfires kicked off. Just saying, there could be some type.
They can't help but tell you, can they?
They can't. They have to tell you. Revelation of the method. So yeah, more than 850 fires burning across Canada, briefly making Toronto the world's most polluted major city. Smoke has reached Michigan, Minnesota, and New York, raising concerns ahead of Sunday's Spain-Argentine final in New Jersey for the ball kicking sports ball game, World Cup.
Have there been any report? Are there have aardvark citizens been spotted in the woods in Canada lately? Just saying. What are they doing? When did they get caught doing that? And was it Argentina?
It was in Patagonia.
Oh my! Because we were talking about Cuba, and I mentioned Greenland, but the other one, he's always said that he wants to make Canada the next state. Yeah, just saying.
We're at the end of the exhaust pipe. Toronto air quality still among worst in the world. And then let's see. Here's some images of wildfire smoke clouds, New York City skyline. Here's some images of that. And public health says do not wear a mask for this. No, honestly, I don't know if they said don't wear a mask, but I do know after 9/11, the EPA said the air was safe to breathe there in New York City and don't wear a mask. I do know that's a fact.
I mean, even Fauci during the bad times said not to wear a mask. A lot of
He
these
did.
people said not to
He
wear a
did.
mask.
He did.
But anyways, they changed their mind pretty quick. I don't know where they're getting their orders from. Anyway, sorry. There's a reason behind all of that. But yeah, during this particular case with the particulates in the smoke, you want to protect yourself in some way, shape, or form. Absolutely. The other thing they usually recommend, which is okay, depending on what's going on and what your setup is, they should be recommending people stay indoors. Don't go outside breathing that. You know what I mean? Try to limit your exposure to it. Absolutely. But you would want to, if it's really bad, depending on what's in there, you would want to seal up some stuff in your house and not run your air conditioners and all of this stuff, to keep the bad stuff out. But anyways,
New York Calm Post said you're smoking 10 cigarettes today by breathing air in New York City. Probably way more than that.
I can handle it then. We're all good. I've been looking to I'm trying to lower my voice. I hear myself and I'm like, I lost my deep radio voice. Maybe it's just the settings on my microphone, but my voice used to be deeper. I need to get that back. I need that Alex Jones gravelly.
You need some more. You need some cigarettes and whiskey.
I do the cigarettes already. Maybe it's the whiskey I'm missing. There we go.
You need some cigarettes and whiskey and some crank, and you'll be talking like that in no time. Okay. Everybody's favorite criminal here now in the Trump administration, not Trump himself, Howard Lutnick, our Commerce Secretary, put out this video as we move into the AI dystopia technocracy section. Here's everybody's favorite criminal, Howard Lutnick.
This is a really exciting day because TSMC, the largest semiconductor manufacturing company in the world, just committed an additional $100 billion to build factories that make the semiconductor chips, the leading edge, the best in the world, the smallest, the most sophisticated in the world, semiconductor chips right here in America. That extra $100 billion moves them up to $265 billion of factory commitment, all being built in Arizona. This is the Trump administration, two companies, $265 billion by TSMC, $250 billion by Micron, more than $500 billion of domestic semiconductor manufacturing coming home to America. This is a really exciting day.
It's exciting. We're not getting jack out of that, and they're building this giant scientific dictatorship, police state, surveillance state technocracy.
Yeah, I was going to try to push back against your statement about him being everybody's favorite criminal, and I was like, I couldn't think of anybody else. I'm like, dang it, you nailed it again, Sam. He really is the perfect one, isn't he?
Oh, man. This report out of Russia TV, they're claiming that Russia and China are building a parallel AI world. They've just signed the Shanghai Agreement to launch a world organization for AI. More than 25 countries have already signed on. The next phase of the AI race is competing global systems.
Neat.
They're set to build a separate AI governance framework from the ground up. Half the planet could soon be operating under a different AI blueprint. Russia has its own large language models ready for global export, paired with Chinese manufacturing scale and infrastructure. The global South just found a real shortcut. Premier Li Qiang made the pitch clear. AI must become the exclusive game of a few nations. Cooperation over concentration is the message. The intelligence emerging from this union won't mirror Silicon Valley's, and that's precisely the intention. Moscow sees this as an opportunity to break free from the Western attempts to isolate it technologically. Beijing sees it as a route past U.S. containment. Together, they're carving a lane no one can block. Governance negotiations will happen in Shanghai, not Brussels, not Washington. The center of gravity is shifting east. Shanghai Cooperation Organization. There you go. Visualizing the expansion of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization there. And so obviously we're already in a proxy war with Russia. We're in Cold War with China. So we're going to have to go to a hot war with China here soon, apparently. Two competing AI ecosystems could double the pace of breakthroughs or fracture the internet into separate intelligences. Either way, the future just reconfigured itself. So should we start bombing Shanghai? What do you think, Ruckus?
Isn't that part of China?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're quite ready to do that just yet. But I am sure. Well, maybe. I mean, why not? I mean, wow, I can't believe they're ready to do the AI governance thing, huh? This is happening. It's happening. It's all happening so fast. I don't know how to handle it. I really don't.
It's happening. NVIDIA unveils new AI model and expands Japan's physical AI ecosystem. NVIDIA introduced new AI model Cosmos 3 Edge. The company plans to expand physical AI ecosystem in Japan with local partners. It will also collaborate with local companies in the healthcare sector. And so very exciting news there.
Local as in Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their healthcare sector.
Mm-hmm.
In particular.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting.
Mm. Americans are angry about data centers. Politicians are feeling the pressure. Report out of Reuters. Out of Michigan now. From Michigan Avenue Township looks like any other farming community with corn and soybean fields, silos, and grain elevators. All GMO poison, but that's beside the point, I suppose. Just down the road, though, cranes reach above towering fences at the site of a $16 billion project. One has turned this town of 2,400 people into the latest U.S. flag or flashpoint over AI data centers. Dubbed the Barn by its consortium of developers, Oracle, OpenAI, Related Digital, Blackstone, Wallbridge, the strategic data center is expected to stretch over 250 acres. Construction is moving ahead despite resistance from residents concerned about the impact on the water supply, the power grid, and the rural environment. Most people aren't interested in some massive development here, one of the town folks said. And so they should be put on that terrorist list immediately, right, Ruckus?
The people who are protesting the data centers absolutely need to be put on a list. They are very, very dangerous people. I certainly support the data centers 100%. Trust the plan.
That was a great segue meme there, Ruckus, to the next story here. Since 2023, there have been over 20 documented instances of police misusing flock cameras to stalk romantic interests and rivals. One Idaho officer tracked his wife's movements over 700 times, and to avoid suspicion, put the word test before each search. An Illinois police chief used a neighboring district's flock cameras hundreds of times to track 6 people he knew personally. 3 of the victims used to be romantically involved with him. So nothing like being some creepoy stalker cop using flock cameras, right, Ruckus? It's all for public safety.
There's so much wrong with all of that. I don't even know where to begin. But yeah, this is probably not good. I mean, that's just one example of how these things can be abused by the wrong people, which is all fine and dandy to have those conversations and absolutely should be concerned about. But obviously, the bigger elephant in the room is the person who's abusing it the most are the people who made the damn thing and for what they're using it for, the government and all of that. This is just all wrong. It's just all bad. It's let me see, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, unconstitutional. That's the one. So that's all I have to say about it.
The Constitution's just a conspiracy theory, Ruckus. And that was a good segue. The people using these.
I gotta stop doing that.
A la Palantir Alex Karp.
Why is Palantir the most popular brand in the world? People always frame it as the most unpopular. We have, for every time you read someone, we have 100 times the fan. I'll tell you why we're the most popular brand in the world. And that's why they attack us often. We're the most popular brand in the world because I might be crazy. I am saying things you don't want to hear, like the West is superior. We need national service, which means helping out old people. It doesn't mean industry should be fully aligned with the country. We have to fight for these things. We have real adversaries. If we're not competent, we'll lose. These things, technologies are not perfect, and you have to listen to annoying people. And by the way, you can't blame everything on a country you hate, whatever. Okay. And you know why we're so popular? Because everybody else is telling you they're only trying to figure out what you want to hear so they can. That's the felt version. And that's why when politicians in this country or anyone else say, hey, don't believe your lying eyes on migration. Don't believe your lying eyes on nuclear. Don't believe your lying eyes on AI. They get up and they vote for people who are like, screw these people. I'm going to burn down the house.
He's a complete crazy person. He really is.
No, he said he might be crazy.
He is crazy. He is crazy. Wall Street Journal reports the AI backlash has tech executives fearing for their lives. And they talk about the firebombing attack last month there in San Francisco, targeting Sam Altman, and a couple of other attacks. Also terrorist threatening Anthropic offices there in San Francisco as well. And so why would people be mad at them? They've just stolen literally everything we have, you know what I mean? And then censor us, ban us, put us on AI kill lists. I don't know why anybody would feel ill will toward these tech executives, Ruckus. Oh yeah, and they said their software, their AI is going to take your job as well. I don't know why anybody would feel anger toward them.
Here's a better question. It was actually one I was discussing on my X the other day, maybe yesterday. It's been a long week. What is motivating these nerdy billionaire types? What happened to them? How badly did they get abused and bullied? Or what are they the children of Satan? What's going on here? Why did they grow up to be these types of people where they hate the rest of the world so much that they want to do these things? I don't understand.
Almost like they are children of Satan, like you said. Almost like they're part of some type of transhumanist breeding, eugenics transhumanist breeding program.
Perhaps they were chosen ahead of time for some purpose by somebody. No, not that chosen. Stop.
The Lehman Brothers moment of AI bubble is coming, says this critic, warning of fallout.
They keep saying it's like I'm waiting any second now. I'm at the edge of my seat.
Well, what's it called? Crashed. IBM crashed. Oracle crashed. Like 40-something% of stock value wiped out. So those are two pretty big dogs. in all this, right? Oracle and IBM over the last couple of weeks here now. So
Let me correct myself real quick. What I'm really waiting for is them to fail, and then the government's going to step in and say they're too big to fail. There you go. End of story.
Too big to fail, too big to jail, national security. We got to beat China. And so unlimited corruption is totally reasonable. This guy, they'll probably whack this guy. I don't know. He's been out there bad-mouthing it a lot. Ed Zitron sees a downfall driven by loss-making subscriptions and an insatiable need for cash. So these companies, again, Ruckus, they don't produce much of anything. I guess they get revenue from subscriptions. The real purpose is to steal everything, is the real purpose of these companies.
That they have adopted as their business model the famous expression that was posted around coming from the WEF, you will own nothing and be happy, because they love to, like, remember how you used to be able to buy like technology software and things for a lifetime and you download it on your computer, keep it forever. Now it's all these monthly things. Like I started using the Adobe software programs, their cloud. It was like 15 to 20 bucks. It's like $80 a month now. I had to cut that stuff, you know.
It's a giant scam. You can't buy and own the software any longer, and they're phasing out video game ownership as well on hard media. So it's across everything, and it's still a scam job, screw job. They do the same thing in my industry. Intuit QuickBooks used to be affordable for small businesses to have a set of books, like $250. Now it's like, it's never-ending subscription. You never even own your own books. Now, it's completely and utterly absurd. I don't see how it can be sustainable. At some point, you would think people would say, no, screw this. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay for the same software every freaking month. I'm old enough to remember when you could buy the disc and own it forever. It doesn't need to be updated anymore.
What sucks is they're doing this with other things, and they're soft creeping it in, like with inside the cars and the homes and all the smart devices and your everything. So how long before, like, you have to pay a monthly subscription just for your front door to unlock and let you in and out?
Your refrigerator, yeah.
Or your fruit. There you go. Yeah, like, but I'm hungry. Well, sorry.
Or like there's this, diarrhea
Well, I have
going
to bust
around.
out like one of the chainsaws from the guy from Argentina to get into your refrigerator.
Millet, there's this diarrhea going around, and we're going to go ahead and keep your refrigerator locked for your own safety, Ruckus.
Perfect.
Zitron put out a big Substack, 15,000 word Substack post yesterday. He said its failure would be a watershed moment, the Lehman Brothers of the AI bubble. He's talking about OpenAI, and an event that would define the end of one epoch, the start of another, and that would shake the afflicted out of that psychosis. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. He predicted 2 years ago that OpenAI's Sora video generator was not viable, and it was canned in March. Seems like maybe this Zitron guy knows what he's talking about a little bit.
Very strange name, though.
Zitron, yeah, Ed Zitron, and he's been on all the big financial shows. We showed videos of him. They don't like this guy down talking him out there in the big mainstream for sure.
It's probably controlled opposition.
Maybe. Zitron predicts that OpenAI's collapse will only come after AI data center debt and venture capital funding has been almost entirely exhausted, as OpenAI has vast money needs based on his own reporting on its audited financials from 2024 and 2025. OpenAI will need to raise funding at least 3 more times in the next decade. Its downfall will be driven by loss-making subscriptions, weak advertising revenue, and massive costs for customers that will curb compute demand, end free chat GPT, and make investors wary of any AI startup, not to mention sizing up related data center debt. Makes a lot of sense to me here now, Ruckus.
This is all bad because a lot of people have already started using this stuff like quite heavy with their work stuff. Companies have fired employees. They've started training and using AI agents already and all of that stuff. What's going to happen if all of these AI companies start going under? Wow. Yeah.
It's going to be hilarious, actually. And the whole economy will collapse, and that'll be hilarious, too.
Yeah, that's ha ha ha.
Okay, that's all we got there. But yeah, according to his analysis, none of this is financially sustainable. And I have to agree with him. Sadly enough. Okay, let's take our live commercial break. Give us a like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. We went through a lot of news there for you. Over an hour worth, commercial free. Give us a like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Go to weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a holograph sticker, a white background sticker, or a clear sticker. We have all 3 stickers available at weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a t-shirt, baseball cap, coffee mug, shot glass, weaponizednews.com/shop. The link's in the description below this video. We take donations, buy me a coffee, Bitcoin wallet address, Cash App. Links all in the description below this video. Become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. Over there, we're streaming live. You'll get the full show, a summary of the show, links to almost everything we talk about for documentation, further research purposes. Become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. Everything's free, nothing beyond a paywall. Help support independent reporting and analysis, streaming live for you here Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern Time on all your major platforms. All the links are in the description below this video. Any which way you choose to support us is much appreciated. Go ahead and plug away, Ruckus, please.
Excellent. Yeah. Independent media. We do that sort of thing as well over at alternatecurrentradio.com. That's where you will find us. And you can find the Boiler Room, Sunday Wire. I got some of my music mixes up there now. The Roundabout Ruckus, where I show up on other programs, including Weaponized News, of course, Mystical American Patriot Society, and, of course, the Odd Man Out podcast. You can find all of the links and more information right in the menu, and you can even come join us in our social medias and all sorts of stuff, and you'll find links to where to support us and where to find me on my X account, but you're also going to see that right here on the screen underneath my face, because Sam's got that covered. It's AC_wordslinger. That's where you'll send me a DM if you want to tell me how much you like me, how much you hate me, or if you'd like to hire me to do some word slinging stuff. There you go. Thank you very much, Sam.
Right there. Send all your hate mail to @AC_wordslinger. Send your money to @Weaponized News. Okay, thank you for bearing with us through that commercial message. And welcome back to the second half of the show. Yeah, it turns out Congress a bunch of sex perverts, as we know. The latest to be exposed here, Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego, who recently spoke about possibly running in the 2028 presidential elections, what has been accused of engaging in sexual relations with 2 staff House members. A few months ago, he was asked if he had engaged in inappropriate relationships with staffers. He denied it. He was a good buddy with Eric Swalwell, if you remember him. Being known as a close friend, former Congressman Eric Swalwell, who went down in flames for sexual abuse of women. Let's watch this short report about his good buddy here, Ruben Gallego.
You know, I don't know what's going on with his family, but it's definitely a horrible situation for family. They're using that as a cover to attack me right now because they can't do it. They couldn't take back 2024 because they ran a horrible race. But now this is what they want to do. They just want to hurt me as much as they can. Presidents, everything else like that, I don't care. We're going to wait, and that's not even a thing right now. The most important thing is I want to protect my family. I want to protect my family's reputation, and this is why we're talking about right now.
Senator, you've gone on trips, on vacations, officially, unofficially. You've gone out, presumably, with the congressman. You've never even witnessed him, I don't know, engaging in an affair?
No.
Never.
What about
No.
How do you explain some of the photos that were online? I know you addressed one, but there is another one that shows both of you without shirts. I mean, how do you address some of those compromising photos?
We were on a beach.
I
think you were on at the desert and on some camels.
See, he knows nothing. I believe him, just like Epstein's assistant of 18 years know nothing about any wrongdoings, Ruckus.
Yep.
Here's Epstein survivor. Short clip of hers. More calls for justice here in the Congress.
In that first release, I found my name in 2 places. In that next release in January, my name appeared again, but this time the redactions were so far worse. The files displayed not only my name, but my phone number, my former addresses, where I worked, and other identifying information. When my name appeared in the 3rd file release, it became difficult to believe that this was not intentional. Despite my lawyer repeatedly contacting the DOJ, seeking protection, my information continued to be exposed. And it's not just my name, it's the identifying information. These documents contain disturbing yet incomplete accounts of my abuse. They were available not only for the entire world to see, but my child, my students, my friends, my employers, my colleagues, and my family. It was humiliating. Worse, my FBI 302 exposed a Jane Doe who had fought for decades to conceal her identity. It's been absolutely devastating. Outing survivors causes real and irrevocable harm.
And it's talking about the Department of Justice doxing Epstein victims.
It's interesting how she's, I don't know, the lawyer thinks, but yeah, I mean, they're doing it on purpose. It sure seems that way, right?
The DOJ is breaking the law right now. Apparently, we have to have Epstein Files Transparency Act 2. Here's Massey talking about it. I don't know what good passing another law is going to do. They don't even comply with the current law.
The first bill's been very successful. We got 3 million documents released. But there have been some dragging of feet by the Attorney General and the Acting Attorney General. And so, this is to spur the next level. Specifically, the main thing that this new bill does that we've introduced is forces the U.S. Attorney General to cooperate with state attorneys general that want to prosecute Epstein co-conspirators under state law. And it turns out in New Mexico, that's where the Zorro Ranch was. You hear a lot about Epstein Island. You hear almost nothing about Zorro Ranch. But it was expansive. It was massive. People were going there all the time. Crimes were committed there. And some of those aren't barred by statute of limitations. And so the Attorney General in New Mexico would like to prosecute those crimes. And so we're making it easier with this bill. That's one of the things.
They have to pass a law to force the feds to work with the state to investigate Zorro Ranch in New Mexico.
And he described it as they're dragging their feet.
They won't cooperate. The
Yeah,
federal.
I mean, yeah. There's a big difference between dragging your feet and. Well, you know what? I guess most people forget what that really means. I mean, because if you have an petulant child who refuses to move, you pick them up and you force them by dragging them, and what's left behind are their feet. They're not dragging themselves, I guess. All right, well, yeah, this is really sad. Yeah, forcing the government. And which part of the government is this again? Oh, the Department of Justice of all freaking places. We have to enforce the law twice against the organization that's concerned with enforcing laws. I'm so confused.
We have to pass a federal law to force the federal Department of Justice to work with the New Mexico State Department of Justice to investigate Epstein Zorro Ranch. Think of the absurdity of this. And they scream law and order, no one's above the law, and we care about victims all day. Amazing. So Massey, who is it? Here's the press release out of Massey office. Massey, Kana, Ledger Fernandez, Merkley, Lejan introduced the Epstein Files Transparency Act 2. There you go. And we'll link up to the press release. Todd Blanche and the Department of Justice have refused to release as many as 3 million Epstein files. They are hiding the truth from the American people and creating even more injustice and trauma for survivors. Congresswoman Ledger Fernandez said, when Trump administration does not comply with the law, there must be consequences. Attorney General Blanche is not fit to serve, should not be confirmed, and should instead resign. And I'll add to it, he should be charged as well. I don't care if you work for the government, you don't get to just quit and walk away when you're committing giant crimes. You need to be held accountable, so the next criminal that comes along doesn't pull the same routine. We're in a continuing loop of, oh, I'm in the government, I can just resign and walk away from all my crimes. Bullshit, man.
How or when is that going to change ever?
Apparently never, because the Constitution's a conspiracy theory. Here's more. Thomas Massey cites Melania Trump against her own husband. Let's watch this. Remember that? Remember Melania came out and gave that funky press conference a couple months back. She's trying to distance herself from all of this.
To handle this, which is extraordinary in and of itself, that they're not using it to discuss a war, but to discuss the Epstein files. So aren't they just doing the bidding of Donald Trump, and isn't he the one that doesn't want this to come out?
Well, I think he has been trying to protect his friends like Howard Lutnick, who, it's obvious now, he was a bald-faced liar. Just weeks before we got the files released, he was saying he had never had anything to do with Epstein after his first interaction. And now we see he took his kids, his whole family, to the island for lunch. So I think he's still trying to protect some of his friends, and we just need to get it all out there. But more importantly, there are enough names in there. You know, Leslie Wexner, Leon Black, Jess Staley, these are people who are mentioned in there. You're innocent until proven guilty in this country, but there's enough information there that there need to be investigations like there have been across the world. I mean, there's the Prince of England is no longer a prince. The ambassador from Britain to the United States is now gone. The former prime minister of Norway is being investigated. It's happening everywhere except for the United States. And I do think the president's been an impediment. But I agree with the first lady when she says that Epstein did not act alone. And so we need to investigate these things. There need to be prosecutions, not just getting this out there. We've got enough stuff out there now to have the prosecutions. And that's what this 2.0 is about doing. It's letting the state attorneys general do the job that the U.S. attorney general will not do.
Massey's just a far left-wing Antifa terrorist, right?
Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, maybe Norway is actually doing some investigation, but a lot of those people he's mentioned, plus the ones we've seen, they're just stepping down quietly because of the controversy swirling around their names because of the release of the Epstein files. Nobody's going to jail. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
Oversight Dems say Todd Blanche put Epstein survivors in danger and led the cover-up of the files. Blanche should not be running the Department of Justice. Sad to report here, I have to agree with the Democrats on this one. Todd Blanche should be nowhere near the AG's desk. I gotta agree with the House Democrats on this.
Isn't he close to Trump in some way, shape, or form?
He admitted yesterday in his confirmation hearing that he was Trump's personal attorney. He slipped up.
Public. Well, that's public knowledge, Sam. They just don't advertise it. It's not like it's on his shirt every time we see him speaking. But yes, he's known to have been a personal lawyer for Trump. So no conflict of interest whatsoever going on here, right?
He's going to act in the interest of the Constitution and the American people and not in the interest of Trump, as he has his entire career. Here's ZBS News analysis of Epstein documents show Epstein made $25 million by helping a bank that was under investigation, while the U.S. Department of Justice was investigating European bank Edmund de Rothschild. The bank's leader, Adrian de Rothschild, tapped Epstein for help. Let's watch this report out of ZBS.
Jeffrey Epstein was paid $25 million to help a bank resolve a federal investigation. A new CBS News analysis of Epstein documents shows how Epstein became a consultant for the European bank Edmund de Rothschild. At the time, the bank was being investigated by the Justice Department for allegedly helping customers hide potentially billions of dollars from the IRS. Documents show that Epstein and the bank's leader, Adrian de Rothschild, they first met in 2013. This was 5 years after he pled guilty to a felony sex offense. The two kept in touch, and when the bank found itself under investigation, Epstein offered up his help. He tapped into his network and introduced Adrian to former Obama White House counsel Kathy Rumler, who had recently left the administration. About a month later, Rumler began meeting with the Justice Department on the bank's behalf, and in the end, that relationship paid off. In a December 2015 email to Rothschild, Epstein says that he helped negotiate a deal. The bank paid $45.5 million to the IRS, and then it paid $10 million in legal fees and $25 million to Epstein, a total of $80 million. Epstein said he considered it a bargain. Really, it's notable that his fee was double what the law firms involved were paid. Rumler ended up resigning from Goldman Sachs earlier this year after her close relationship with Epstein was revealed in unsealed documents. The documents showed that they exchanged hundreds of messages, had over 50 scheduled meetings, and she referred to Epstein as Uncle Jeffrey. She also accepted gifts from him. In a statement to CBS News, Rumler said that she has, quote, done nothing wrong and had no knowledge of any ongoing criminal activity on his part. She testified before Congress this week about her ties to Epstein. What's significant about these documents is they give us a glimpse into how Epstein mastered the appearance of expertise. He combined it with a talent for brokering relationships and, through what appeared to be minimal work, parlayed it into immense wealth.
See no wrongdoings.
Right. Uncle Jeffrey, come on now. This whole experience, by the way, has ruined the whole growing up as a Toys R Us kid experience for me. Because remember Jeffrey the kangaroo? I mean, the giraffe. I almost said kangaroo. Anyways, yeah.
I believe, according to the reporting I'm seeing, that she was back at Rumbler's back at. She did a fake resign. She resigned and they brought her back, and she's back at Goldman Sachs as top attorney, as far as I can tell.
How does that happen? I mean,
did a head fake. She's like, I quit.
That's the fake revolving door. What's going on here? Reverse revolving door. I don't know what you call it.
Fake quit. She's like, oh my gosh, Epstein, I just can't. And then quietly, she went out the front door like, oh yeah, Goldman Sachs, they're legit. Everybody knows they're legit, right? And
so I get it. This has just been a TikTok challenge, right? They're like, well, okay, now I nominate the next person to quit over the Epstein files, right?
And then they're like, come back in a couple months. When it all blows over, you got your job back plus a bonus because you kept your mouth shut. Because obviously there was no wrongdoing by anybody involved. That seems how they're playing it here now. They're trying to, I don't see this blowing over though, honestly. All their screw ups out of the Department of Justice have just brought that much more attention to it. They would have been better off if they wouldn't have done all these shenanigans, and they would have legitimately complied with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Then it may have blown over. But all these shenanigans just raise more red flags and cause more eyes to be looking on it. What are you guys up to there at the Department of Justice? You know what I mean?
The Barbara Streisand effect. Yeah, but I think that they know that. That's why I think this has been intentional from the beginning. A lot of this is part of this giant, whatever the hell is going on, psychological operation to divide everybody, keep us distracted. This entire thing is controlled. All of this stuff, the failed releases, the failed promises from the current administration, the betrayal of MAGA, the stuff with Iran, the AI, all of it. So we just can't see the bigger picture quite yet, but we just know there's some effery going on for sure.
I like this one. Onto the economic section. Warren Buffett said, tough to find value when everyone is gambling. That's pretty true. That's pretty true, I would say. Warren Buffett.
Speaking of gambling, did you see they want to put in these poly-market betting casino things inside the airports?
No.
Okay, I'll find a story for you for later.
Trump has promoted more than 20 companies on his True Social account days before buying stock in those firms.
Straight up for him.
A casino for him. The total number of job cuts attributed to AI are 87,714 in 2026. The way it was written, I was like, that's too many. No, 87,714 this year, and that's per Challenger and Gary. This is 22% of all 2026 layoffs are attributed to workers being replaced by AI. China, more on this parallel AI world. China models have rapidly gained traction. Here's a little chart from the Financial Times to give us an idea. China is vastly outperforming American AI models, at least according to this chart out of the Financial Times. You could see right there. Weekly usage in 2026 of top 9 models on Open Router trillion tokens, and you could see China's burning through those tokens, indicating a lot higher usage than US. You'll like this one, Ruckus. I appreciate it as well when they tell me everything is wonderful in the golden age of Trump's economy. U.S. debt now exceeds 100% of GDP for the first time since World War II.
That's not a good thing.
National debt rising. But Trump says it was all Biden, and so we have nothing to worry about.
Oh, God, we're in trouble.
Larry Finkelstein now, head of BlackRock. He says the next financial revolution in the United States will revolve around financing AI data centers. I just hope the whole thing crashes at this point, and I don't even care because they're just such bastards.
The role of financing infrastructure around technology, whether it's financing data centers or financing the purchase of chips. As I said earlier, I think we're going to have markets investing in compute. We're going to have a futures market in compute. This is going to be the next revolution in finance, and it happens because of the.
They're naked to me now, Ruckus. All these con men, Larry Finkelstein, freaking Trump, Lutnick, you name them, all these clowns, they can't even barely talk. They're full of shit, liar con men, and I just transparently see them for who they are now. I wish everyone would.
Thank you for showing something from Larry Fink, because I just knew that there was somebody who was my favorite criminal over Lutnick, and that's the guy. I just knew it. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. But yes, that's my favorite villain to hate on, Larry Fink. You do some digging on that guy, and you're like, whoa, wow, yeah.
I think I saw you post this on the X, but it's worth one more view. The Trump coin. They launched that yesterday.
And they can't. It's not like an official or whatever. It's not what he was hoping. He wanted like some official currency coin that's from the mint or whatever with his face on it, but that violates the law going as far back as 1866, just going off of memory here. They can't have a living president on the coinage, on the money. But yeah, so he's calling it like it's a collectible, like he does everything, right? So it's the same as the Trump Bible, the Trump meme coin, but now you got a Trump coin. So ridiculous. How much does it cost? I bet you it's more than just $1 or whatever, but it will have a face value. But it won't have a face value of $1 because it's not a real dollar coin or anything, right? Whatever. Stupid.
It's another con job by Trump. And
the despotic leaders love to do this kind of stuff throughout history, right? And the emperors did this. These are signs of a sick society. This is not good that we're doing that. Well, we're not doing it, but that he's doing that. The carnival games on the White House lawn with the UFC fighting. This is just more degeneracy.
Patriot games.
It's terrible
as well. Yeah. Coming to Washington D.C. Like literally out of Hunger Games.
How you want to talk about something that's not sustainable? How long have societies and governments throughout history who act this way survived? How long were they able to keep this up? They weren't.
It's not sustainable. Any of this megalomania and just never-ending lying. It's transparency, lying to everybody's face, and you have to be just delusional, paid shill, or literally insane to believe anything these lying criminals say at this point.
Well, we're still unsure what the side effects are of the miracles, Sam. So,
Fed's Logan, inflation does not appear to be holding sustainably back at 2% on its own. I'm sorry. That's a headline out of Unusual Whales. It's just like 2% inflation. Okay. That's allegedly where the benchmark the Federal Reserve aims for is 2% inflation. We're at like freaking 30-40% at the grocery store and in every other consumable item here now because of the increase in the transportation costs. The average U.S. 30-year fixed mortgage rate has hit 6.55%, according to Bloomberg. Trump media, you'll like this one, Ruckus. Trump media to sell faster access to President Trump's Truth Social posts, which will let traders and investors pay for real-time feed of Truth Social posts. He's literally saying, I'm rigging the markets as president by what I say, and I'm selling you inside access Wall Street. And we're just supposed to say, oh, that's wonderful, America, wave your flag. It's like, no, this is a criminal piece of garbage, gaming the entire system, and this is freaking illegal. What he's doing, arrest his ass, Todd Blanche, Mr. Law and Order, Department of Justice. Damn, man. It's just in our face at this point, Ruckus. Over the top, in our face corruption.
He's getting more creative about the ways, all the excuses he's giving them to impeach them, right? This is insane. Yeah, this is a little bit, I mean, like, we talk about some stuff on this program that's in your face and on the nose, but this is really over the top. That's wild, man.
Truth Social will sell Wall Street quicker access to posts. Come on, man. Get the F out of here. Like, seriously. White House teleprompter operator was fired after everybody is gaming this. That's why idiot MAGA Republicans need to wrap their stupid little brains around if you didn't have too much bat juice in there. Dude, they're gaming everything. His freaking teleprompter operator was making bets on these prediction markets about what Trump was going to say next because he read the freaking speech because he was feeding it into the teleprompter ahead of the thing. Dude. Reason Magazine, big article here. They say the most corrupt presidency in American history by the numbers. And it's a big old article. I did a breakdown of it. Let me blast through the top 10 points here quickly. Pardons as pay for play on steroids. Trump's second term pardons commutations have allegedly erased over $2 billion in fines and restitutions. And they go through here and they name the different cases. Crypto tech conflicts with Binance and the CEO there. He was in trouble. He paid off Trump. And now look the other way.
CZ.
Yeah, CZ. He pays off Trump. Now feds look the other way. Don Jr. linked to Trump family crypto platform, World Liberty Finance using Binance Tech. We've covered all that corruption. UAE linked to $2 billion investment, boosted related stablecoin valuation dramatically. Teapot Dome parallel compares the 1920s bribery no bid oil leasing to today. City cites a secret $500 million deal with the UAE sheik and World Liberty Financial. Familial influence peddling and at an unprecedented scale. Hunter Biden and Burisma, that's that Ukrainian energy company. He was magically on the board of directors. And Chinese deals amounted to about $9 million. And then Trump says, let me one up you here. Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners raised $6 billion, mostly from Middle East partners he negotiated with. Eric and Don Jr. companies struck hundreds of millions of dollars of deals with government. Trump revenue jumped by $2.2 billion last year. Watergate and power abuses, Nixon scandal. We covered that a little bit at the beginning of this day in history. Trump 2.0 examples include mass prosecutor resignations over dropping Eric Adams charges. Well, he went and kissed that wall, and that's what matters. Open enemies targeting Cash Patel rhetoric, public post demanding action versus Comey, shift, other perceived Trump enemies, and broad claims of presidential immunity and power. He said, Trump has said on multiple occasions, his power is essentially unlimited as chief executive commander and chief president of America. No bid contracts. We covered the cartoon Dick Tracy looking villain guy that got the no bid contract for the reflecting pool. Total disaster. Brazen self dealing and access selling. References IRS settlements, meme coins, dinners, fundraising to pay off Trump and his family, regulatory favors tied to personal enrichment, UAE deals exemplify foreign officials gaining policy wins, AI chips, we covered that yesterday, Pax Silica. Now, allegedly, they have all the UAE has access to all the greatest, latest America top secret AI because they shot a rocket at Iran, is what was reported yesterday. Lack of remorse, transparency, and lower outage. Unlike Bill Clinton, who later called Rich pardon a mistake, or historical figures facing consequences, Trump shows little interest in protocols, remorse. Overall thesis and call to notice Trump Trump's family is executing corruption at a scale never previously contemplated. What do we?
That's just the summary. I gotta check.
And that's
this
just the
whole
summary.
article.
All the details I'll post, or you can go to Reason Magazine. The most corrupt presidency in American history by the numbers is the title. I'll post the link at Weaponized News Substack for all.
They brought the receipts.
They brought all the receipts there. It's all well documented. At least we're paying less for gas, Ruckus. We're edging near the $4 mark. We may be there tomorrow. AAA national average for the price of a gallon of gasoline is now up to $3.94. That's up a cool 5 cents from yesterday. And so a steady trend upward here now at 10 cents from the beginning of the week. And so we're looking to break that $4 threshold. Here it is, your AAA national average for the price of a gallon of gasoline right there. I'm sure if these, all signs indicate we're going to blow past that $4 threshold. So it's all wonderful in the golden age of Trump's corruption. The Brown University International and Public Affairs School, Watson School, the total cost consumer burden of the Iran war, they're clocking it at $69.5 billion today. And the per household cost burden spread across both gasoline and diesel, $530.72. I don't think that number is moving. The total cost burden of the Iran war is moving, though, a little bit. And I do believe they're underestimating quite a bit here, but we'll keep going. Oil transit through the Strait of Hormuz has fallen to 4.1 million barrels per day. Kepler reports here now, and Goldman Sachs is putting out similar estimates. So they've created this energy crisis, Ruckus, blocking the Strait of Hormuz, blowing up energy infrastructure across West Asia, in Iran, all across the joint. We keep reporting here now, and all across Russia as well.
Yeah, didn't we have a sort of a similar problem with back in the miracle time where the supply chain was getting messed around with? Things were not working so smoothly, let's just say. And next thing you know, people are fighting over toilet paper.
It was for safety from bats. And so everything had to be locked down.
No, I'm talking about, remember also, okay, yeah, of course there's that. But there's the thing got stuck in the Suez Canal, remember? Was it the Suez Canal? Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. Yeah, no, there were, and that was just one. There was a number of things that happened that totally effed up the supply chain process. But part of it was the lockdowns and the shutdowns and people having to stay home. But yeah, this sort of stuff. I mean, but what we learned, the reason I bring this up is that these things are kind of like tsunamis. We're still waiting for the actual effect to hit us from like when all of this started. How many days are we on now? 130. Like we haven't
138.
Like they've been doing something. I think, and I think we talked about this. They've been doing something to buffer us from the effects.
They've been draining oil out of our strategic reserve here in America.
Right, but whatever they've been doing, they're not going to be able to keep doing it for much longer, and it's going to hit us like bam, like it's going to feel like it came out of like, oh, where did this come from? And then like Trump will come out like, well, remember I told you we're going to be some pain. It's like whatever, like anyways. But I'm being a pessimist, I know.
Everything's going to be fine. International shipping firms shun U.S.-controlled Hormuz corridor over failure to protect vessels. International shipping companies are avoiding crossing the Strait of Hormuz because both Iran and America are standing there with guns pointed at them. And they're like, yeah. This is a report out of Reuters. They say Strait of Hormuz, avoiding crossing the Strait of Hormuz through the U.S.-controlled alternative corridor that runs along the Omani coastline due to fears of Iranian strikes. sources told Reuters. Both, again, America and Iran are sitting there at different blockade points at the strait with their guns saying, do what we say or we shoot you in the face. And these international shippers are like, bro, we're out. Do you blame them? I don't blame them at this point for saying you're a bunch of crazy people with guns. I think we're going to look for another route.
They're just wussies.
They're the ones causing this whole global energy crisis and famine. Freaking pussies. It's not good. Like you say, Ruggers, the global supply chain is extremely sophisticated. It's called the global supply chain for a reason. And so it does take a minute for everything to sort through it. And by the time we get to the end, it's all run out. And we're going to see heavy, heavy effects from this now.
Just somebody please be honest to me about what this means for my coffee consumption in the near future. I would appreciate it.
Well, the Federal Reserve said that they're going to miss their 2% inflation mark. So,
yeah. Oh, well then. All right. Damn it.
Well, at least we get to brag about killing more Russians. Here's we train Ukrainians to be better at killing Russians. The Australian. Wowzers. ADF troops warn of key shortages. More than 40 Australian soldiers have been deployed to Camp Jomsburg in Poland to train Ukrainian squad and platoon leaders, but they have discovered the same problem befalling troops on the front line: equipment shortages, because they stole a bunch and trafficked it all over the place. Side note, members of the Australian Defence Force have been at the camp for 2 months, and like their counterparts from other nations here, are frustrated that excess and old military stock at home would have a significant and immediate impact helping Ukrainian soldiers. On the surface, the recently constructed camp is impressive. Methodical tents lined in rows for an international consortium of the Nordic and Baltic countries, as well as Poland, Australia, New Zealand, and America, all specifically tasked with improving the survivability and lethality of Ukrainian squad leaders. We train Ukrainians to be better at killing Russians. Wowzers. Foreign Minister out of Russia, Lavrov, says that the West's 500 years of dominance are over.
Who said that?
Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov, this dude.
He's usually a calm guy. He never says things like this, Sam.
That dude. Yeah, they're building a parallel AI world. They're building out the Greater Eurasian Partnership. China and Russia are like getting like this here now.
How do they feel about Iran, though?
They're good buddies with Iran.
Well, that's really convenient. Not for us as Americans, but whatever.
China surpasses U.S. in global favorability for the first time in 20 years. According to a poll, China at 46% median favorability versus 36% median favorability for the United States across 20 countries with comparable data. In several U.S. allies, including the UK, Canada, France, and Germany, views of China have also markedly improved. So we're doing a great job in this soft power transfer to the East here now. by running around like megalomaniac, bloodthirsty imperial tyrants policing the world and the Strait of Hormuz, Ruckus.
Well, there is a long-running conspiracy theory that involves just what you're suggesting there, that that's the real plan all along, that America's going down, the next world power to step up on the stage is China, and there's just so many different ways you could do it, but this appears to be one of the I didn't see that coming, and it just happened kind of slow, the slow frog boiling, rather than the threat of like, China's going to invade and take over the country, and we're all going to have to be forced to learn Chinese and fight back like Red Dawn or some shit like that. No. There's a good chance they probably already own our ass since you and I have been born, Sam, from what I understand.
China's a hell of a lot smarter.
Involving our debt. I'm sure you've heard that story before, right?
I remember when Trump went and visited China, and old Xi and him were taking a walk in the park, and he pointed at a tree and said, "Hey, Trump, that tree's 350 years old, older than your country, America." Like, dude, we're playing the long game here, bro. You get it? And Trump's like, blow everything up now. You know what I mean? And it's just not it. The rest of the world is sick and tired of U.S. hegemon. And we're not helping or liberating anyone. We go and murder everybody and steal all their stuff. And the rest of the world is sick of it. The global South, as they're called.
We had a good run, everybody. Well, I guess it wasn't that good of a run after all.
Now's some time for some comedy here. After all that, doom and gloom. Here's some comedy. They are faking gay, Ruckus. Here's who's this? Representative Becca Balint on the homoeroticism of what do you do with a drunken Hegseth and the rest of these jokers. Let's take a listen to what she had to say about this. They're faking gay. Sorry to report to you.
But I think is indicative of the fact that there are so many people in this administration that have some weird, like, intense homoerotic feelings towards men, while also being incredibly homophobic, and not just homophobic, but like hate mongering, fear mongering about the LGBTQ community. So let me be clear. I don't think the homoeroticism is the weird part. The weird part is that they pretend that that's not what it's about. And so Pete Hegseth is like the example of this, like the manly, rugged, macho man. And it's like, I don't know if you know who Tom of Finland is. Tom of Finland, okay? This is gay male porn that was drawn by a man. And like Pete Hegseth is the embodiment of that. So I feel like they must be looking at that as like their example for what men look like. And in terms of like not promoting women, like we know what this is all about. The military, whether you support the military-industrial complex or not, it has always been merit-based. The people who are the best of the best rise to the top. And so the fact that he has systematically been keeping down women and people of color gives up the whole game. It's actually not about a merit-based system anymore.
So is Pete Hegseth faking gay?
Well, most people don't know this, but when he was a young lad, he actually starred in a famous movie, Pete Hegseth, that is. You might recognize him as the young Joey on the movie Airplane, where he was asked, "Do you like movies about gladiators, Joey?" No, I'm just kidding. There were signs.
Oh my gosh, there are signs everywhere, actually. Wow.
I think the sign is that he's very much old school, diehard, gung ho, let's go kill people, army kind of guy. I don't even know why, because it doesn't seem like he saw a lot of action. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's trying to live vicariously through these young lives, these young men. Maybe he is just gay. Who knows? But This is more important what he's doing if we are indeed what they're saying. They're not hiding it. They changed the name of the department from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And if you actually are engaged in actual war, let's all be honest here, you want it to be a bunch of strong, sweaty dudes. You don't want the diversity crew, the ones who are having trouble flying airplanes and stuff. I mean, I don't care about the color of the skin. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But yes, you want soldiers. So again, and also if it's a woman, fine and dandy. But what are the odds that we get the G.I. Jane lady or the ones that we see? Who's the chick in the Aliens movie? You know what I mean? Like, those are few and far between. But if they exist and they want to fight, yes, great. I want to fight with them. But like the people that are joining the army, you've seen these people, right? I mean, they're not ready for war. And Pete Hegseth was right, so he's pushing them hard. But I mean, but why? I mean, like we got to defend ourselves from the blowback for all the crap you guys are doing across the world in our names of spreading peace and love and joy, or whatever it is stuff you're doing, or is it because you need us to be your muscle to go continue playing empire across the world? Or are we really about to engage with a full-blown enemy a la like China, Russia, Iran, World War III? I don't know. Who knows? But they seem really like this guy in particular. This chop, we got to hurry up and get this done. Like they got a timeline, probably by 2030, I guess.
Good segue there. High T Patriots. Tomorrow is the deadline to apply for Warforce. And so if you're a IT engineer out there and you're looking to build out Skynet, the Department of War is recruiting right now, usajobs.gov. They're looking for building out Skynet at the Department of War. Apply for Warforce. Are you a cracked engineer? Is that enticing you at all, Ruckus, to join?
I have no idea what you said earlier because I missed it because my microphone's stuck. I went mute. I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
High T Patriots, tomorrow is the deadline for applying for Warforce. Can we interest you as a computer engineer to sign up for Warforce?
Is this like the Space Force? This is something different? Is this a new department, or what is this?
Warforce. They're recruiting 2,000 engineers to U.S. Department of War.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Well, all right. What? They're gonna work. They're just gonna work for the department, but they're not like part of the army. This is something different. This is like I don't know what the hell this is.
No, they're going to be part of the army.
Okay. How many?
Duties, the specific duties assigned to forward deployment engineer may be different by hiring agency. For example, coordinates with cross-functional teams to integrate software technologies into secure, scalable, and interoperable solutions, leads efforts to modernize CI/CD pipelines, integrate automated test frameworks, and improve infrastructure as code implementers, continuously researches and evaluates emerging technologies, frameworks, and methodologies that improve delivery efficiency and product quality, aligns project outcomes with agency-wide IT strategies, digital modernization goals, and mission priorities, recommends and implements innovative tools, methodologies, and frameworks to improve project execution and service delivery, participates in interagency working groups, task force, and strategic planning sessions to align IT initiatives with broader government priorities, collaborates with one or more delivery teams with technical and non-technical stakeholders to align on requirements, triage issues, validate implementation plans and ensure technical cohesion and consistent standards across the enterprise, elevates other engineers by reviewing designs, code, and delivery practices, ensures quality and technical growth across the organization. So that's some of the duties listed here on this job application to recruit. They're looking for 2,000 computer engineers to go ahead and be part of Warforce at the Department of War.
Yep. Now this makes perfect sense, and we've seen this before, because Skynet won't be building itself. We will be building it for them, and then they will, enforce us with the Skynet thing. Yay! Yeah, that's all that jargon is. It's for setting the military infrastructure. This is the end game right here. So the 2,000 people that are going to be doing this, you better really sincerely do some soul searching or something. I don't know. This is not good. I wonder if they would do, like, you know what they used to do back in the day, Sam? Like when the pharaohs and the emperors would have them, the little slave worker class build some magnificent thing. When they were done, they would murder them all and then bury them at the base of the thing with the emperor or the pharaoh. Just saying, So careful out there, y'all.
That's what all tyrannical regimes do, is the radicals that bring them power, they whack them once they're in power because they realize they're radicals. And that same thing is going to happen to these people. Yeah, same routine all throughout history. And why would it end? It won't, because they're going to see them as a threat.
Because they have access to the codes and the secrets. Look at we have mysteriously disappearing nuclear and UFO technology scientists disappearing all the time. Whatever. It's a dangerous job, people. I wouldn't be doing it.
Little Marco Rubio, the State Department, have designated 2 additional Mexican cartels as terrorist groups. The Juarez cartel and the Los Vigres cartel are now listed as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists.
The Los Viagra? What?
There's a big Viagras. Los Vigres. Yeah, Viagra almost sounds like that. There's a giant quasi-secret drug war going on right now, Ruckus, in Mexico, Central and South America. Very underreported. We report here.
Between Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, right?
It's between the CIA and these cowboy outfits that want to be rogue and not part of the bigger criminal network and do their own thing. And they're
don't piss in the CIA's punch bowl, everybody. It's probably not going to end well for you.
They're being systematically phased out now. All competition. So I guess we need to go after Brazil because they're a bunch of communists, Ruckus. For decades, Brazil's unreasonable acts, policies, and practices have harmed U.S. commerce. And so now they're targeting Brazil's illegal deforestation and saying this is out of the U.S. Trade Representative Office, smearing Brazil. Brazil blocks Musk's X after company refuses to name local representative amid feud with judge. Brazil judge suspends Rumble platform after censorship spat. X blocked in Brazil after Supreme Court panel upholds suspension order. They're just blocking American technocracy, and now they're being demonized as being these horrible trade partners that we need to target because they're threats in South America.
Keep labeling people and things as threats, and then we can do whatever we want to them, right? It's a pretty simple game.
they're starting the demonization campaign right now. I'm telling you, look out for a move on Brazil coming as part of building out the greater North America project, which will also be South America.
Well, I mean, the one that's going to have to pop off real soon is Taiwan because of all the technology stuff and the chips and all that jazz.
Maybe. We reported on this weeks ago. Time Magazine found the time to write an article about it. What do you make of this, Ruckus? The former campaign manager of old Trump, Brad Parscale, is now a registered foreign agent and working closely with U.S. media Salem Group that owns a bunch of these conservative talk radio stations, allegedly Christian based. And he's registered as a foreign agent, Brad Parscale. So isn't this just straight up selling out?
What country?
Aardvark land.
Oh, well, you don't say. Wow, did not see that coming.
What do you make of this whole thing? Trump's ex-campaign manager is running an Aardvark land influence operation targeting the MAGA base. Time Magazine article. I think even J.D. Vance cited this in one of his recent interviews. What do you make of this? Seriously? America first, MAGA flag. This guy's working for a foreign country, influencing MAGA base.
He's not influencing, Sam. He was helping protect, because there's a lot of this negative stuff. There's a lot of anti-Septicism going on. See, so much so that they have to put these people inside to infiltrate and kind of work like undercover like this. They're not there to influence. They're there to anti-influence. See, they're the anti-Septicism people. See, they're the Septicism buster thing. So it's okay that they con and grift people because it's for their own good.
It's for the greater good, right?
Because this is our greatest ally, after all, Sam.
I guess I'll accept that. They put up geofencing operations around major evangelical churches to track and target churchgoers here in America with their Zionist propaganda.
Safe. They keep us safe.
I guess keeping our minds safe. Continuing here, they're leveling Lebanon. Lebanon and National News Agency, Aardvark land occupation forces have set fire to several homes and tracts of land on the outskirts of Bet Yan in southern Lebanon. And same routine every day. We report they're leveling the joint. There you can see ongoing demolition campaigns. This one, warplanes carried out strikes across Nabtitha al-Fawqa in southern Lebanon. It's literally every day here now. Big part of the MOU, the White House doesn't want to talk about, was the sticking point that Iran said, hey, Aardvark land, get out of Lebanon. They refused. As soon as the MOU was signed, they bombed the hell out of Lebanon. If anybody could remember that, literally sticking their finger right in the eye of the peace deal, essentially. Aardvark Land War Chief Katz tells the Pentagon that occupation forces will remain in Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza. So there you go. They're going to go about doing whatever the hell they want. And if you say anything about it, you're a bad anti-septic, Ruckus.
Then I will keep my mouth shut.
Aardvark Land War Minister Katz informed his cohort Secretary of War Hegseth here in America earlier today that Aardvark land will continue to occupy territory it has seized in Lebanon, Syria, and the Gaza Strip. Calls for withdrawal have been rejected by War Minister Katz. I'm glad they're helping in the peace effort. Our greatest ally.
He's the war guy, remember? Not the peace guy. He's doing his job very well.
Here's a map to give us a little bit better idea about this occupied land they've illegally stolen. You can see right here the Gaza Strip. They're gonna take it all. That's the little strip right there is where some Palestinians are. They're pushing right now as we speak them into the ocean or shoot them all in the face as they're actively bombing refugees and tents. We'll get to that. They took all of this land in Lebanon. You can see right here. They call it a security zone. And then this land in Syria as well. You can tell right there. And they're looking at taking some of this land in Jordan as well. And there's also been talks about taking some land from Egypt as well there, because their evil god 3,000 years ago promised it to Eastern Europeans named Malay, we're told, Ruckus.
Was this the same person running around with a map that showed a picture of something similar to this? Called it something project for somebody? I don't know. It's pretty great though.
Summary of aardvark land tax in southern Lebanon. Report out of the cradle. In the past hour, let's say in the past 12 hours, this was earlier today for accuracy's sake, aardvark land takes and military vehicles conducted a sweeping operation there. Aardvark forces conducted controlled demolition, and military vehicles advanced. And here's some still images of those military actions in southern Lebanon. There's the military vehicles, and you can see they're burning the place down, literally scorched earth. You can see all right here, all burned out with their tanks, backhoes, armored vehicles, and the like, advancing positions there. You can see the demolition in the background there. More demolition there. Here's some video, I believe. Ongoing fighting. You can see the tanks right there. And so they're consistently advancing their positions into southern Lebanon. Soon, I guess they'll take all of Lebanon. I don't know. They claim this is just for security purposes to set up buffer zones because those damn terrorist Hezbollahs won't stop shooting missiles at them, even though they've ethnically cleansed over 1 million Lebanese so far. So I don't know why Hezbollah is upset. Ruckus?
Is this better, by the way, my microphone?
Yeah, that's way better.
Anyways, yeah, that's terrible. This is just terrible. I hate this kind of stuff. And I have to cover all this stuff, too, or at least comment on it on Sunday Wire. So I try not to comment too much about the geopolitical stuff when I'm on this show, Sam, but it's just all terrible news as usual. They just don't stop, do they? It's like I'm very skeptical that this is ever going to stop.
There's a ceasefire, Ruckus. There's
sure, yeah. That's what I mean. Like it's no, there isn't. And like every day we hear the people dying, and as you said, they're bombing them when they're in tents. I mean, this is just like gone so far beyond the pale, so far beyond any idea of like an armed conflict. There's zero justification. They're like, well, we murdered this little girl today because she crawled out from under the rock and she had a stick and we thought it was a gun. No, they don't say anything. They just shoot the little kid in the head. If we're lucky, they'll say, oh, she got too close to the yellow line. You know what I mean? So I'm so sick and tired of it, and it just needs to stop. They're going to keep doing it until there's none of them left. And then what, world? Are you going to be happy then? I mean, like, oh, well, I didn't want to say anything because I was going to be antiseptic. Jesus Christmas. Anyways.
Because I wanted to get that 7,000 and be a clownfluencer for genocide.
Oh, those people in particular, if those people really exist, because I still have my doubts about whether that's a real thing or not, but close enough. I mean, there are people who were doing it and they were making money for doing it, whether or not because they were doing it and getting the clicks and the money and stuff, or whether or not they actually were handed a check by Ed McMahon himself, showed up at the door and said, here you go, thanks for doing your duty, or whatever.
Is Publishers Clearinghouse part of the Mandela effect?
No, okay, yeah, I was going to say, now hold on, there's a giant argument. I shouldn't have even triggered anybody with this one. People think that he worked for the one that you just said, Publishers Clearinghouse, but he worked for another one called America's Family Publishers. That's what it was called, AFP. I remember this correctly as a child, but there's a lot of dispute out there because most people's memories are retarded anyways, but also because a lot of popular shows and other things have then referred to it and screwed it up or twisted it around, whether or not they did it on purpose because they wanted to protect themselves, or it's just like, yeah, it's just people misremember things. So it's turned into a full-blown Mandela effect. And people are like, no, Ed McMahon worked for the one publishing company. And people are like, no, he worked for the other one. So it's so crazy to me. Sorry we even brought it up. People are
one more Mandela effect question. On your timeline, Ruckus, how many times has Bob Barker died?
Once.
Wow. On my timeline, he's died 3 times.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Moving on here now. Yemen Houthis in Saudi Arabia are going hot and heavy. Leader of Yemen's Houthis, Ansarallah Houthi, says that the Saudi role is moving toward cooperation with America, Aardvarkland, and UK to stir sedition in the Islamic world and to undermine any collective stance of the nation in support of the Palestinian cause or in confronting American Aardvarkland tyranny. The real question in Sa'ana Airport in Riyadh, or Siana Airport for Riyadh Airport, airports for airports, ports for ports, blockades for blockades, because they've been blowing up each other's airports here back and forth, or at least launching attacks on them. All Saudi oil and vital facilities are targets. This is Houthi saying that, for our missiles and drones if it becomes involved once again in aggression against our country. We will spare no effort in confronting Saudi Arabia with everything we possess, seeking God's help and placing our trust in him. Neither Saudi Arabia nor its American, UK, or Aardvarkland masters, nor anyone else in the world will be able to enslave us or confiscate our freedom and dignity. That's this dude. He does give some very inspiring speeches, I gotta say, following Houthi here now over the years.
Yeah, but they're just terrorists. They're bad people. So even though they don't sound like bad people when they speak and they say and do the things that we would probably do ourselves or support or root for in a movie or something, we're just, they're bad people, Sam. They don't look like us. Look at them. They're different than us. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia attacked us on 9/11, Ruckus.
Well, no comment.
Yemen backhandedly is paying back for 9/11. What about that?
Interesting.
Now they're paying them back for bombing their airport, but I could take it as hell. Screw you, Saudi Arabia. You bombed us on 9/11. You know what I mean?
Who knows at this point, to be honest with you? Seriously. It's probably absolutely we probably have everybody's laughing at us these guys have no clue what's really going on, right? Who knows?
It was freaking.
What if the whole thing really is like wrestling? I mean, seriously. I mean, if it really is, all of these people are just buddies. They're all just hanging out, smoking cigars, talking, laughing it up on Zoom calls. Could you imagine? I mean, it's just wild, bro. I don't know.
They're still whacking the Palestinians. The genocide continues. Aardvarkland airstrikes killed at least 5 Palestinians in Gaza earlier today. Netanyahu is killing wounded women and children at the highest rate since the ceasefire began in October. There's ceasefire in Gaza and in Lebanon, we're told, but yet every day they're stacking bodies.
It seems like that's what that means. The one side stops shooting while the other one keeps shooting. That's fair.
Some people are questioning if you can trust aardvarks. I don't know. I'm saying, I don't know. Salem Radio Conservative Talk said yes. So, I mean, that's good enough for me.
I think there's just there's a lot of people who have the question right now about Aardvarkland. It's quite palpable if that's the right way to say that word.
They're saying it's just hate. And it's like,
well,
bro.
I think it's past that now, yeah.
Even Mr. Technology, J.D. Vance, he made the point, I forget even which interview in the last week, he said, if everything's racist, nothing's racist. It's true. And if he says, if everything's antiseptic, nothing is. And that's, they've played the card out. It's played out, right? It's just played out. It's falling on deaf ears. You're the whole routine, right?
But the aardvarks are digging in their heels, their talons or their tentacles. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble now. Get in trouble now.
The tentacle's a good one. I get it. The octopus reference.
Yeah, right. But with the military and the intelligence community link up things, and the bill that's going around right now. I'm tired. I forgot what it's called. 219,
NDAA.
right? Yeah. So they're not helping. This was their chance to like disengage and try a different tactic. Instead, they're like no, they're clinging on with one last, like this is it for them. This is all or nothing. You know what I mean? Technically, because like we have the chance to completely cast off this thing, but I'm skeptical that's going to happen. But it could happen. But then we put ourselves in even more danger if we do that, because then Aardvark might be mad at us, and they might want to consider us as part of their greater project. I'm just saying. Anyways, but you see what I'm saying, right?
Bibby's talking about Shadow President of America, Bibby Millet, I guess would be his name. He talks out both sides of his mouth. Oh, we're so great. We're rising to global power status. We don't need U.S. foreign aid anymore. Keep saying that. Turns out, yeah, NDAA merges the two freaking units. So, yeah, you don't need our foreign aid because you're going to become one and the same. And it's just like, dude, anybody following this can see it's just so full of shit. It's just like, dude. Ridiculous. Okay, final reporting here now, and we'll wrap up. Ruckus, thank you for staying with us over 2.5. We're almost at 2.5 hours. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button out there if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us through this Thursday broadcast and day 138 of the Iran war. Sadly enough, the death toll continues to rise there in Gaza now. Since the ceasefire took effect, there's now been 1,127 dead Palestinians, bodies stacked up, and 3,643 injured civilians, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, there, Ruckus. It's literally every day. I report on it every day. I wish I didn't have to. I wish they'd stop it. Praying they'll stop it, praying for peace. And we know they won't, because they're hell-bent on building out the greater Aardvark land project. Segue, new Aardvark land settlement established at one of the highest peaks in the occupied West Bank. And you could see in this image, they've set up a nice overlook enclave here of ultra-Zionist settler settlements right there. Very nice for them. So they're going to take all of that area as well. The entire area.
Cute little city on a hill there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Says this. Let's see. Let me read you the whole little excerpt here. Out of the cradle, new Aardvark land settlement established on one of the highest peaks in the occupied West Bank, overlooking Palestinian homes in Nablus. So imagine that. They're like looking over them like they're the whatever lower than, as we know, they are the Goy. Continuing here, Aardvark land settler leader and head of the Syria Regional Council, Yossi Dangan, announced the establishment of a new illegal settlement named Ebal, E-B-A-L, excuse me, atop Mount Abal near Nablus, one of the highest peaks in the occupied West Bank. The first Aardvarkland settler family moved into mobile homes at the site on Wednesday, with the official inauguration ceremony scheduled later in the day. So yesterday, they had a nice little inauguration ceremony. It's very festive time there. Accompanying the families, Dagon declared, "This land remained empty for thousands of years. 600 families will live here now. The new settlement is located directly above Palestinian homes, which lie extremely close to the settlement's boundaries, raising concerns over further settlement expansion and increased pressure on Palestinian communities in the area." I'm sure everything will work out just fine there, Ruckus. With these
You've always been an optimist, Sam.
with these kind ultra-Zionist settlers.
Oh, yes, they're the kindest. I've seen videos. They're wonderful people. Especially when they're taking over people's homes and stuff. They're fun.
They know how to party, for sure. Iran International latest headlines, and we'll wrap up this show. Trump claims U.S. winning big as strikes on southern Iran continue. U.S. completes 6th consecutive night of strikes on Iran. Death toll from strikes on Bandar bridges raised to 7. They're going to be stacking some Iranian bodies. They are. We're going to be getting those more death tolls, I'm sure, out of Iran. Trump says U.S. is winning in Venezuela. Booms heard in Doha as government sends security alert. Iran's UN envoy calls U.S. strikes war crimes. If they're targeting civilian infrastructure, it is a war crime according to the Geneva Convention.
We could always change the definitions, right?
Yeah. Latest headlines out of Al Jazeera. They do, and they will. U.S. carries out major strikes on civilian infrastructure in southern Iran. That's a war crime. What we would know, but we've already said that we don't. Well, little Marco says he's going to take apart the International Criminal Court. So we don't recognize international law. Why, I don't even understand at this point why we even are at the UN. I guess we want some. I guess we have to veto Aardvarkland's war crimes. Would be really the only reason to even be at the UN at this point. We don't recognize international law or give a damn what they say about at the UN. You know what I mean? So it's literally just to veto Aardvarkland war crimes at this point. Ruckus is the only reason. It's the only reason to even for the United States to even be part of the United Nations, because the whole rest of it, we just say F you and laugh about it, right?
Honestly. I'm laughing.
Dude.
The thing is, though, it's like the United Nations is like back 6 years ago now, 2 weeks ago or so, right? So during the miracle times, the United Nations and the WHO and all of them, they could all F off for all we could care. We'd be like, wait a minute, you're exerting too much power and too much control. Who needs you? We want to disband you. We want to not be a part of you anymore or whatever, yada, yada. And then like we made it through all of that. And then now all of the other things that we would normally want to rely on a governing body or an organization such as theirs, giant failure. I'm like, dude. And it's like, now we're like, come on, UN. Now we're like pro-UN, pro all of these things. And it's like, they're such a giant, huge disappointment. They really are like the ultimate representation of like switching back and forth between two political parties on the local level, inside your own nation states. Just an observation. But yeah, what are they good for? When you need them for what they would like the war crimes thing. Hello, yeah, we can actually enforce and stop this. Where you at? No, sorry, bro. We're too busy doing what? What are they doing? What are they doing? I have no idea. Nothing. The people who speak up and do reports, they get sanctioned, right? Like Albanese, right?
they're implementing the goals for sustainable development agenda 2030. They're
Yay.
working on that. Think of this. Iran brings war crime charges, allegations to the UN, says, look, America, you guys, killed a bunch of civilians, those schoolgirls, for instance, or whatever. We're killing them right now. Pick an incident. You targeted the civilian infrastructure, the water salination plant, some other type of, public infrastructure, electricity, whatever, all kind of different stuff, railways, bridges, all this stuff. And they list all this and they say, UN, look, these are war crimes according to all our documents, everybody signed here that we said we agreed to, all this, that, right? And then US is on the Security Council and they just veto it and laugh. And it goes nowhere. What is the point?
Someone was wondering why there wasn't an uproar about any war crimes when Iran struck energy infrastructure. Well, if they did, then they would have to remind everybody that war crimes are a thing and then be guilty of it themselves and get called out for it when they do it. So that's why they don't say or do anything about it. It's like, yeah, they don't care because they do it themselves. Both sides, as you say all the time, Sam, right? Both sides. Iran is not good, right? You know what I mean? But
they're not good. They're not the good guys in any of this.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we murder their civilians.
But we're not the good guys either. There are no good guys.
Right.
That's the point.
Should they come over here and murder us civilians for the terrible things that our military and our government does around the world? No, and we shouldn't be doing it to them.
There's Joe Blow freaking Iranians just like you and I, okay? And their government's corrupt as the day is long, so is ours. And they have all the same, they're Joe Blow, same as you and me, man. And so whatever, they want to do their thing and be a Muslim, good. They're not over here trying to convert me to Islam, are they? No. You know what I mean? Maybe here and there, but the whole Islam threat, but give me a break. The threat is it's already taken over our own government. Come on, man. All right, Ruckus, that's all we got today here. Did you see anything? I was trying to search a little bit about what was Trump saying. The White House did put out, because there was a 20 something minute Trump speech while we were live on air here about allegedly, well, it was. Let me go to the White House right now quickly, and then we can wrap up, because that seemed like it is significant breaking news. Trump's address to the nation about an hour ago here. Let's see. Trump said, the White House says, our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in elections, but to earn the confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. That's an excerpt, and it was about this, and they're pressuring Congress to pass the SAVE Act. Of course, it's clogged up in the Senate right now over the filibuster and their own politics they got going on in the Senate and the Senate parliamentarian, something like this, I believe, as well. I've seen in reporting. So here is election integrity from the White House, from Trump's announcement just an hour ago. Ensuring the integrity of our elections is fundamental to preserving trust in American democracy. Following the 2020 presidential election, concerns about potential irregularities prompted detailed examinations of voting processes, data security, and registration practices across multiple states. Below, you can download documents and reports addressing key areas of election integrity, vulnerabilities in election voting and ballot counting systems, China's access and exploitation of American voter data, Michigan voter registration investigation, non-citizens on state voter rolls. And then there's Trump's talk about it. Vulnerabilities in electronic voting and ballot counting systems. I'm not going to read all of that for you guys. Just the headline there. China's acquisition and exploitation of American voter data. And they go into the detail. We covered that. Yeah, that's it. So I guess there's more details there for those interested. If you are naive enough to think that your vote even freaking matters, because fundamentally, we never even get a candidate worth voting if your vote even mattered in the first place.
What do you mean,
So
Sam? I've seen some people's vote really matter. In fact, I've seen their vote counted twice. I've seen their vote counted after they're dead. So
That
I
is,
have
yes.
complete faith in the system that your vote counts, but only in certain situations.
You got me there. They do count your vote after you're dead, but always Democrat. I'm told by reliable sources. Oh man. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Have fun with your election conspiracies. Whatever. Like I said, we will never get a candidate even worth voting for from either of the two major political parties in this country, Democrat or Republican. I'm sad to say here now, right? Because it always goes down
like
to
a third party miracle candidate's going to show up and change everything, right?
We've seen that movie, Ruggles, and it never seems to play out, but they always seem to take votes enough to split so the other guy gets in. Just saying. Always seems to work out that way, but election integrity. All right, friends. Any final words, Ruckus, before we wrap up this Thursday?
Don't put
podcast?
It like that. Final words. What do you mean now?
Final thoughts.
No, are you going to run through the comments, though?
Yeah, I'll go over to those. But
I guess I'll do this real quick because people were asking, so you'll see it as you're scrolling through, so you don't have to cover it. People were talking about and mentioning my appearance on the Jimmy Dore show this week. Yes, that happened. So
you're famous now.
Yeah, I'm practically famous now, as if being on Sunday.
You're going to be higher on the government kill list than me.
Yay! Dude. I know. That's all it's worth. Any is just like the cool points, like how far on the list am I? Who gets droned first? Well, now it's me over Sam Chaney, but you'll have your chance again. Because, it's always a fighting chance. But yeah, people were asking where they can see that. Of course, you can go to their YouTube or their Rumble channel. But the ones that I was on, they cut it. There's 4 of them so that you know which ones they are. It's these ones, the Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, and then there's 2 about the Tyler Robinson case right here. But if you click on those, you'll see my name in the videos there. Okay, so that's where you'll find them. Because I'm probably not going to put that up on the Alternate Current Radio's website. Don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, there you go. And thanks for asking about that, everybody in the chat. Yes, indeed, you did see me on Jimmy Dore show.
Awesome, Ruckus. Awesome. All right, over to the channels, over to the Odysee. Shout out to Odysee audience, John Huffman. Let's see here. I understand that future contracts are being used to manipulate the price for the time being. Dude, they're literally reporting Trump's going to give Wall Street first access to moves he makes that they know move the market. It's what? It's like, come on, man. This can't even be true, right? I don't know. CNN reported it. Maybe it is fake news, but something tells me it's not fake news. Something tells me it's true, sadly enough. Let's see. For your information, Brazil has a very large and powerful army. It is no pushover, John says. They're starting the demonization campaign right now against Brazil. Crazy people run.
Does that coffee? Does coffee come from Brazil, or am I thinking of something else? Colombia.
I think maybe some coffee comes from Brazil. Yeah.
I'm just worried about my coffee. Damn it.
These crazy people are trying to take over everything for the freaking Zog. You know what I mean? And Brazil is the only major South American country, not publicly. They probably are privately, but publicly they're not big fans of the genociders. You know what I mean? So they want to make them public fans of it. What does John say? In so many ways, America has become aardvarkized. We have taken on vulgar materialism, their callousness toward humans and all living things, their beast-like sexual perversions, and indeed an obsession with all things sexual. Wow, yeah, they've corrupted us, right? Real freaking Babylon kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
It's real talk right there, and there's some evidence that suggests that they do that intentionally because they hate us, so they want to demoralize our society from within and let it rot.
Ruckus, there's also historical evidence that they do this throughout all of recorded history that
I'm
we
not
know
going to
about.
say that. See, now you're higher up on the kill chain. Way to go! Congrats. I knew it wouldn't take long, Sam.
All I do, Ruckus, is I read mainstream on this day in history, and you read that for a year, and you'll come to the same conclusion.
Well, luckily I don't have to because you do it for us, and we appreciate it.
Oh man. More from John. He says the spell seems to be broken by the video of murdered toddlers. So the folks started looking at 9/11, the Liberty, the King David Hotel bombing, and even the Talmud. That hateful collection is a slap in the face to any normie goy. Wow, John's laying down some great points. Thank you, John. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't have put it any better. That's a pretty.
Who is this John person? Is he a Fed? What's going on here?
John is a longtime listener that followed over from Rockfin after I got banned from Rockfin for not charging fees, for not putting up a paywall. Oh man. But anyway, yeah, shout out to John. Great freaking points there. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in on X, Kick, Bitchute, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube. Okay. How bad was the chat over there? I didn't monitor it all on the YouTube.
We had a flood of trolls in the beginning on YouTube, but they disappeared quickly. Probably they wanted to go see what Trumpo had to say. So there's a bunch of weird stuff in there, but lively conversation.
Shout out to Fat Bob, Karen on the YouTube, or on the Rumble, excuse me.
Oh, and shout out to Creative Accidents, one of my pals from the ACR groups.
Let's see, Mac on the YouTube, he says the monopoly was hard on the attention span. Oh, the monotony was hard on the attention span. Let's see. Fat Bob says, I now get why they want to wipe out all mankind out, but they're enforcers who in turn will be wiped out. Oh, he's quoting this guy. Yeah, I did see that guy, CJ Björknes. I see him talk about it a little bit on the Substack. I don't know if I can get behind all of what he says, but yeah. Let's see. IRGC needs to be eliminated. Like they are like the national of W2. I don't even know what that means, but
I think they were trying to say they were the nasties, if you know what I mean. The word that gets you in trouble when you use it, unless you're using it to describe Trump.
I get you. Little Marco. Yeah, that's what Trump called them. I'm just using their own rhetoric. I mean, Bardo, shout out to Bardo. Phil on the Rumble. There, Rock on the Rumble. Rock says, At Sam at Ruckus, understand the world has sins, east, west, and those who claim they're great. You all have the things. Son of Canada points at stuck to their foreheads. Huh? Rock monster word of mouth. I don't know, man. Kind of, I don't get it, but okay.
It's hard to type on your phone. I get it.
Thanks for the comment. Let's see. We need your current location. No reason, Karen says. Let's see. Fat Bob says, since I take at face value all things Fox News and radio, you're wrong, dude. You are choking.
Well, from that point of view, I guess I would agree.
Well, they say rugged spraying, the sky's understanding, their mixing of chemical, been reporting, it's been happening up north over the forestry. First Nation lands been hit also.
So they're saying there's some effery going on that may have been involved.
Obviously.
What a shock, right?
They were they're spraying glyphosate up there as well.
Well, that's good stuff. We love it here in America.
Yeah. They were spraying it in their forests too for forest management reportedly before these fires, and it's also reportedly highly flammable. Just a coincidence.
Oops.
Asia's literally decades ahead of the U.S. in every aspect, Captain on the YouTube says. Well, they're publicly announcing they're creating a parallel AI with Russia. I don't know. Shout out to A-Dub there. All those pesky Blade Runners. Yep. Kamala only won states with no voter ID requirements, Jeb says. Is that true? Maybe. I don't know.
What was it again?
It says Kamala only won states with no voter ID requirements. I don't know if that's true or not, but
like that matters because everybody by now realizes the only reason she ran was to make Trump a shoo-in. Just saying.
Yeah, it was like we had no choice of candidates. And remember, Trump was losing in the polls. Like everybody's like, dude, we're done, whatever. And then the freaking Butler happened. For those that can remember,
it was a miracle.
I can. It was a miracle
that he lived, and then on top of that, it made him popular again. Neat.
Some would say it was a miracle. Some would say it was professional wrestling, kayfabe, but I wouldn't say that. But some would. Who else is over there? Creative, better ruckus, no black square.
Yeah, what's up with my glasses? There's something. Look, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Huh?
What the F is that? I have
Is that
no
a secret microchip
idea.
Finally shining through?
That's
We're
cool,
seeing the
dude.
real microchip in you.
I do it just there. You go. There's there is nothing to fear. Everything is totally okay.
You're tripping me out looking at it. Oh man! Shout out to Hemp Car over there in the Rumble. Let's see. Don't you want bad water from data? Don't you need bad water from data? You better find bad water from data. Steph is a poet. He's a poet. Strategic petroleum reserves will be gone. Then military supply is next. A-Dub says, man, they're doing a number on us, aren't they? Pamela on the Rumble, shout out, says politics is a dirty business. As far as I can tell, in retrospect, Nixon just took the fall, but he was part of criminal domestic spying ops and big fan of CIA. Yeah, I read this day in our civil liberties, and yeah, they're all criminals. I mean, straight up. There's no other way if they're violating our natural rights. And thought that was the point of all of this, for the government to uphold our natural rights, and they're going about doing the exact opposite, making them criminals. I mean,
all you can do at this point is do what we do. You have to pick which one is your favorite.
Pick your favorite criminal. Mine's Howard Lutnick.
I like Think.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Silver on the Rumble. The annoying orange is about to cash in on his insurance policy. Iran posts list of his Mideast real estate. Will soon be rubble. That's a good point too. They insure all this stuff, and they either blow it up themselves or they insure it's blowing up one way or another. Very
Lutnick knows something about that one.
Very, very, very mafioso tactics there, because they are gangster government. Even what I think Cash Patel had a book said something about Cash Patel and gangster government. It was like he was exposing the bad Biden, and it's like, no, that's the government, no matter who. Paula, it seems the Middle East militaries could take out Aardvark land easily. Who are the Middle East militaries? It's just Iran and their proxy group, militia groups.
That's probably what she means. I mean, unless there's the uniting.
Pakistan, I guess.
Right.
Pakistan, maybe. I don't know. Or in Turkey, I guess Middle East. But yeah, maybe if all the Muslims got together, they could take them out very easily. But a bunch of them are U.S. Western, puppets, so that's why they don't. And they have their own internal fighting inside Islam. I support any land taken from Iranian proxies, Lebanon, Gaza, West Bank. Wow. Take this. I guess that's your name. Take this. Supports all that land seizing. Probably support eminent domain for the data centers here in America too, huh? Sure. AW says yes. Oh, they're talking about themselves. Oh, yes, my better half father is from Lebanon, generations of olive farming. And his family, he left 55 years ago. His father was lost to growing. He was, yeah. Let's see, Sam and Ruckus, since you're good Christians, you pray for peace, but as a big time sinner, my prayers for Iran to turn all Aardvark occupiers to dust. You're welcome. Oh man,
it's okay for Christians to pray that too, as long as you attach the you got to say, if it be your will, Lord, let such and such a thing happen. And you're covered. Then you're covered.
Well, obviously they're not going to stop, right? So they're not going to stop until one side is done. I think they've made that more than clear. CB, this is one of the few times I agree with Trump. However, Trump just admitted to corruption during 2024 election by him and Musk, in which Musk hacked into voting machines. Trump wouldn't lie to us. We cannot allow the federal government to have control over who can vote. They will purge the voter rolls and whoever they don't want to vote. The Trump administration makes America great world leader. Polls prove the vast majority of Americans support identification upon voting.
Well, of course.
That sounds hateful to me, though. Trump has been a good president after all. Wow. Over half the population are lying thieves. Lovely says. trying to listen to shortwave radio chatter to learn about what the mainstream news media is hiding from the public. That's like 80s style, but
That's a great
maybe,
idea.
maybe.
The
What are they?
truckers too, don't they chat amongst themselves? They know what's up, right?
You're dating the war way too recent. Date it back to 1979. Sure.
Well, I mean, that's for as long as Iran's been trying to build a nuclear bomb, Sam. Come on now.
I know. Let's see. Missy says, LOL, Trump is convicted civil sex abuser and pedo protector. And any so-called evangelical Christian that votes for him will end up broke and in hell. Well, I can't argue there. I don't know. That's pretty harsh words, Misty, but yeah, it's just all so ridiculous. Dude, he's going to give inside access to front running the financial markets. I mean, come on, man.
How do I sign up for that, by the way?
You got to be a big Wall Street bank, I suppose.
Okay, I have a new goal in life.
Just be a big Wall Street bank, and you too can get insider knowledge from the president to front run financial markets. Goals, friends. All right. Thank you for staying with us. 3 hours here now, Ruckus. We appreciate it on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We can say Pamela's prayer, and I like to pray for peace. I wish they would stop pulling the triggers all over in all of these conflicts. It only seems to be escalating here now, and innocent people are getting killed, not just soldiers, a lot of civilians that are just Joe Blows like you and I across the world here now are getting whacked as well. And it's all quite horrific because that can be you and I and our families as well. And so we don't want any part of that. That's why I pray for peace. As always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom, speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and we'll be back here on Friday for more Weaponized News. Ruckus, do you have Boiler Room tomorrow?
Pretty sure, yes. I'm 99% sure. 8 p.m.
Tell
Central.
me tomorrow, and we'll promote it right after Weaponized News. Check out Ruckus and Boiler Room crew, hopefully. And with that, let's pray for peace. Everybody, have a great rest.